want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
Hi, Matthew. It's Judge Janine, and I wanted to congratulate you on the Don't Unfriend Me show at the Dumb Show. I was thinking about that whole thing the other day when I thought it was right after Donald Trump was elected that everybody on the left started unfriending anyone on the right. So I'm glad you're calling them out. You've got a great name for this show. And I hope that you're true to the values, conservative values, Republican values, and that you call those people out. I think it's great. And I know you've got 135,000 followers. I hope you get a lot more. And just keep the faith. Keep fighting. I think we may get America back. But in the meantime, we've got a steep hill to climb. And you're one of the fighters, one of the patriots. So thank you for what you're doing.
Test, test, 1, 2. That's iMac. That's the wrong microphone. Hold on. Hold on. It's kicking in. Test, test, 1, 2. Test, test. We're good. We're hot. All right. Sorry, folks. It's the one thing we didn't check. So we tried to switch some things around today, and obviously to no avail. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Let's just start this over. This is the Dumb Show at the Dumb. Don't turn it on.
Oh, whoops. Thought we were starting over.
This is the Dumb Show at thedumbshow.com. And you can go ahead and go to at the Dumb Show and visit our site if you would like to get a cool shirt or a mug or whatever. This is Olivia Spear. Olivia, say hi.
Hi, y'all.
That's it.
Yep. Hi.
Push the button.
What for
When
you?
you talk, you push the button. Not that button. Lord, son of a motherless. Come
I'm
on.
a newbie.
Push Olivia talk button. Say hello.
Hello.
Great. Now turn it off. Hi, folks. My name's Matthew Spear.
Wait, I already put it up though, right? Do I need to do it again? There you go. It's an off night. Oh boy. It's been one of those nights.
I mean, seriously. It's one of those nights. Joe Biden must have released his announcement video that he's running for president or crawling for president or basementing as president. She did. She's all right because she's also hot. Well, that's right. That's the only reason I keep her around. I would have traded her in for a younger model, but she's hot. I'm not going to blow a gasket. Glenn, why do you always concern about me blowing it? Glenn, you're not my mom. I'm not going to take it easy, man. I don't believe in taking it easy. It wouldn't be the same show if I took it easy, but I'm not going to blow a gasket. This is called humor, and it's called ratings, and our banter is healthy. Right, Liv?
Yes.
Someone called her a bimbo the other night. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I've been calling her a bimbo all day.
I don't know.
You're just a bimbo.
I am.
Turn on the phone number, please.
This is what I should have said.
What should you have said?
This.
Oh, where is
Gotta
it?
find it.
Okay. Is it something new, hopefully, not just the ones you always play?
Yeah.
Do you know where it's at?
Oh my gosh.
You play this one all the time. This is stupid. I hate this one.
I haven't.
You play the same one. You've got like 700 different audio tracks, and you always play the same one. It's like, oh my God. It's like, yeah. Is there anything else you've got? Can you do something else?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's better. Yes.
Oh, God, that was so good. Now
Yep.
I'm going to stuff my fucking face with Pepperidge Farm.
Holy Lord.
Is that better?
It's graphic. Folks, welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. We've got a lot to do tonight. We're going to cover Joe Biden's announcement video. And I'll be honest with you. If this guy's the president again, we all, wow. I don't know. I don't want to say move because we won't move, but maybe we can I don't know. What do you secede or something? Or maybe we can all go to Texas or I don't know, man, because this guy's insane.
I'd love to go back to Texas.
This guy's insane. Have you watched the video?
No, I haven't seen it.
It's bad.
I'm sure it is. Everything he does is bad.
But we knew it, but right. But this is a new level of bad. Like this isn't good at all. And when I was watching it, I'm like, this is like something that Darth Vader would put out as propaganda video against the rebels. I mean,
this is a new level of bad, then I'm a little scared.
yeah, it's pretty bad because
Don't know the power of the dark side.
right. So if you like listen to, remember when he did his Hitler rendition and the red lights behind him and he looked like he just should have a little mustache right here and he would have fit right in with a Third Reich. It's a lot like that, but the cinematography is it's really dark. It's the beginning is shot with like a 35 millimeter. There's smoke over the Capitol. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't put nukes, just going off behind Washington, D.C. and then, having Donald Trump there with Putin in a bear foxtrot, just throwing nukes out the plane, just landing on Washington. I mean, it really was another commercial that said half of America is evil. Right. Half of America is evil. They're Nazis. They're Trump supporters and it's us versus them. I mean, I don't see this guy he's not moving to the middle. And I think he's going to stay progressive left. And I think America's just going to hate him even more. The problem is that Donald Trump is unelectable. Someone convince me here, but call. Please tell me I'm wrong. Tell me it's like, Matt, you're crazy. You're just crazy.
Well, from the numbers that came out in the poll, that 70% don't want Biden as the president, but 60% don't
No, 70%.
want Trump.
70% don't want Trump either.
So it's a tie. So it's like it's the lesser of two evils, and I think more people dislike Trump than dislike Biden.
Well, I know, I don't think that's the case. I think the same amount of people dislike Biden that dislike Trump. It's the level of how much they dislike Biden is the case.
Yeah, I think if Biden gets reelected, he'll be in for a couple of months, and then they'll do the 25th Amendment. So let's
fair.
pray to God that Kamala's not the vice
Well,
president.
Kamala's running with him. They announced it today.
Oh,
She's
yay.
the choice. Call in the show, 804-504-1955. I would love to have Donald Trump. But the problem is this, is that I'm looking at his running mates. And now, okay, if one person tonight says Tucker Carlson's going to be Donald Trump's VP, okay, you people need,
No.
you need to stop. You need to.
The baseball game. It's 5-0 Astros.
Okay, 5-0 Astros.
Let the Tampa Bay Rays go past first base.
All right. Good job, buddy. Are you going to bed? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm going to.
All right, well, you got to hurry. Come on. We got the show to do.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
All right, Squirt. Good night. Go Stros. See ya. Love you.
Love you, Bubba.
I got Astros color.
So in an election like this mirrors 2016 like no other. Except instead of Hillary Clinton, you got Donald Trump. Now, you may not agree. We all despise Hillary Clinton more than we can even begin to describe. But understand that the left despises Donald Trump as much as we despise Hillary Clinton. I mean, we can all agree on that, right? So what you've got is a situation very much like 2016, but the difference is they're both known. They're both equally unlikable. You know, and so if you go and watch Fox today, I mean, how many Trump and DeSantis, how the hell is Trump ever going to put DeSantis on the ticket with all the ads that he's running? DeSantis hasn't even announced. He's not supposed to announce for another 2 to 3 weeks, if he is at all. And Donald Trump is running a hit campaign against him on CNN, on Fox, and everywhere else. It's all paid for Make America Great Again, Political Action Committee. And they're just completely lambasting DeSantis. How the hell is he going to put him on the ticket after that? Liv?
Something tells me that your name's going to be a write-in on somebody's. If everyone wants you to run
Run for what?
president,
Are you fucking kidding me?
know.
Why would I run for
I
president?
don't know, but
I have no desire to run for president. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't have. Listen, it's not that Donald Trump isn't likable when it comes to his policies. That's not the problem. The guy just can't shut up and get out of his own way. I mean, go look at his Truth Social page. If anyone wants to unlock the mind of Donald Trump, folks, it hasn't gotten any better.
somebody said DeSantis said he wasn't going to run.
We've heard that. When did he say that? When did he say that? Because even if DeSantis doesn't run, then that is a bad situation for all of us. Folks, if there is anybody, seriously, anybody who thinks that Donald Trump can win, call me, 804-504-1955. I would like to know.
Somebody said somebody said they'd like to see Hayden in the White House. I could totally see that in the future, her being the first female president.
I think so. Antoinette says, Biden put Kamala on the ticket after she called him a racist. It's possible, but not probable. Well, not just that, but she didn't just call him a racist. It's all said that he was responsible for busing. She called him out for eulogizing the Klan. I mean, Biden is just not likable. And the media has done so much damage to Donald Trump, and he has done so much damage to himself. I mean, his accuser for the rape trial started today, and I've got this psychotic frickin' nut job coming on the show to show you a video of her that's so cringeworthy. I felt like, okay, do you know like when you're watching a movie and you get that cringe feeling and it's like embarrassing to anyone who's in the room with you because you're like, you've said how great this movie's going to be, and then something happens and it's completely cringe. Kind of like Umbrella Academy with Elliot, whatever her hell, Elliot Page.
Ellen Elliott Page.
Ellen Page,
Yes.
You know, where she starts out in Umbrella Academy, spoilers, and she starts out in Umbrella Academy and she's like, she's straight and she, falls in love with this guy. And then she winds up having to kill his ass. Then in the second one, Well, she goes and lives with this farmer family,
In the 60s.
and the husband is not. He's a typical 60s husband. Cook me dinner, blah blah blah. He's not, cheating on her. He's not doing that, but he's very very stern. He's very very rude. So they decide to go ahead and kill him, and she starts
have an affair with the
and
wife.
she becomes a lesbian all of a sudden. It's like, what the fuck just happened? How did you become a lesbian? What you just liked sausage, and then you immediately went to Harry Taco. What the hell happened? So you're like, okay, fine. So now she's a lesbian. Great. And then in the next season, she decided to transition in real life, and now she's going to be a trans. And I'm like, what the hell is she going to be in season 4? A black Jew?
A black Jew.
So I'm just confused.
Well, maybe like in
and what the
Tropic
fuck is
Thunder.
wrong with the writers? Do you think the writers are like, dude, this is highly improbable? Like, this is just weak writing. How the hell are we going to write this into the story? So, I mean, the leopard changing their spots, I mean, what was your reaction to this?
Well, it was definitely a little cringeworthy, especially since we're watching it with the kids. I mean, season 1 was hands down one of the best first seasons of any show I've ever seen.
Absolutely. I mean, dude, hands down, Umbrella Academy season 1 is fan-freaking-tastic.
And then season 2, all around was pretty good, except for that part.
The Helen, Elliot.
The Ellen saga.
The Ellen Reddy page.
And we haven't even watched number 3 because
I don't know if I can. I mean, because here's the problem. The character, I'm just like, I how can I identify with this character? This character is every single thing except, like, why didn't she transition into a truck driver who loved guns, who would drink a bunch of former Budweiser, and then, watched hockey for just like 2 minutes, and then transit. I can't relate to the demographic. I can't relate to the character, and she is the protagonist in the whole show.
Yeah, I mean,
I would much rather if they would have killed her and brought in Dylan Mulvaney. That would have been much better.
Well, the thing is this is based off a comic book. It's already written. So, she held up and said she wouldn't come back if they didn't let her transition. And she held up season 2 and said if she couldn't be a lesbian, she wouldn't come back. And she held up season 3 and said if I can't become a man, I'm not coming back. And she had basically, I don't know about blackmailed, but she
always does. It's about me.
Drama.
What's she going to do for season 4? She's probably going to complain and say, I make too much money as a man now. And it's like, well, you're not a man.
Drama.
It's just ridiculous. She's just the center of attention, and she's not a good actress in any way, shape, or form. She plays the same character every single time, an over-angst emu, man-hater.
The only movie she was really good in was Juno.
She wasn't even good in that. She played an over-angst, man-hating emu.
But that was a cute movie.
Is it emu or emo? Emu. Whatever.
Emu is a bird.
What is it then? Emo?
I think it's emo. I don't know.
Who cares?
I never was one.
Whoever wears black and wears duct tape as gloves and cuts, or black electrical tape as gloves and cuts themselves. Basically, the Crow. Whoever looks like that, that's you. You're an emo, whatever. And I'm sure emu is now means female, and emo means male or some shit.
It's an O, emo.
Whatever. Who cares? I've always said emu. It just
I
emo.
have too.
Who cares?
But whatever.
You're essentially an ostrich that isn't good enough for more than 3 letters in your name. I like Juno too.
What is the difference between an emu and an ostrich, by the way? They look the same.
Letters. So
okay.
I like Juno too. I didn't say I didn't like Juno. I just said the actress, Elliot Page, whatever the hell the name is, it's the same character. Okay, it's like listening to Bon Jovi music. Yeah, if you like Bon Jovi.
I like Bon Jovi.
Yeah, everyone likes Bon Jovi, but it's all the same song. Bon Jovi.
Through the heart. Yep.
And you're to blame, wanted dead or alive. I mean, it's all freaking, it's just Bon Jovi, dude.
Jack and Diane.
Jack and Diane is John Cougar Mellencamp.
No, he talks about Jack and Diane in one of his songs, I think.
You're full of shit. John Cougar you're fired. Give yourself a stupid sound. Where's it at? Where's the dumb sound?
Bullshit.
That's not John Cougar Mellencamp did a little ditty about Jack and Diane. 2 young American kids going as fast as they can. That's not Bon Jovi.
Yeah, I know that's not Bon Jovi.
Well, then what the hell song are you talking about? Jack and Diane. Jack went up the hill. Dude, Jack and Jill both went up the hill. Both at $1.25. Jack came down with $2.50. What a fucking hoe. What are you talking about, Jack and Diane? Emu puts its head up its ass when scared. Ramon says. I got no problem with Bon Jovi. Once again, I like Bon Jovi. I liked Juno. I'm just telling you, if you've listened to one Bon Jovi song, you've listened to them all. If you've watched one Ellen or Elliot Page movie, you've watched them all too. She's the same character in every single one. She has no range. She's kind of like Katy Perry as a singer. She has no range. Katy Perry has written the same song, Firework, and just changed the words.
And actually sung on key. No.
Right.
Yeah, because she
your firework. Oh, it's brutal. Now, there's some Katy Perry music I like, but
there are a few.
But Fireworks sucks.
There are a few songs that are catchy.
Fireworks is horrible. It literally sounds like cats humping. All right, so.
Well, we had to kind of like it considering that was like Hayden's favorite singer. When she
but like Roar,
Roar and Teenage Dream.
Teenage Dream is a great song. There's some good. Listen, I'm a Swiftie. Olivia, people don't know I'm a Swiftie. Should we tell them I'm a Swiftie? I am a Swiftie.
Not in the bedroom. Talking about Taylor Swift fans, ladies and gentlemen. You said you were Swiftie. I'm trying to be funny. It's not working.
No, you did fine. But you know what? You've never asked for a refund.
No, that's why I said it not in the bedroom.
You can't even usually walk afterwards. you don't get to.
I wasn't making fun of you. I just was letting everyone else know.
I thought you were calling me a Swiftie in the bedroom.
You said you're a Swiftie. I said not in the bedroom, folks.
I got it.
It's the Taylor Swift fan. No, so that was funny.
I understand. That was okay. That was funny.
It was quick.
I'm sorry I couldn't hear you because I'm Def Leppard. But so here's the deal.
Can't have your pudding if you don't eat it.
Can't have your pudding if you don't eat your meat. We can do a little bit of Floyd, a little bit of Yes, some Boston. I have more than a feeling. More than a feeling. Boston.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So listen. I don't know what I was going to say. You completely threw me
totally off track. You were talking about being a Swiftie. We were talking about music.
Yeah, I'm a Taylor Swift. Listen, not Taylor Swift, new woke Taylor Swift, not old. Some of her old stuff is fine. But 1989, I think pound for pound was one of the best albums.
Yes.
Honestly, top 50 in the last 30 or 40 years.
Yeah, Prism was pretty good by Katy.
No, not even close. Taylor Swift, I mean, every single song had quality. The writing was fantastic. The extended album's good. I'm sorry. It was a
great album. We listened to it over and over again.
And I don't care if anyone agrees with me or not. I thought it was a great album. All right. Amber says, I don't think I'm old enough for this conversation. Well, there's the door. Just saying.
Not old enough for this conversation?
I don't know what it means. I just.
Or is she too? I don't either.
I don't know. Who cares? It's fine. Amber's saying what Amber's doing Amber, and that's fine. Let's get to this. Haven't had any phone calls. What the hell's wrong, people? Seriously. You guys can't call me and tell me what you think about this election. Listen, if it's between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, folks, there is no conversation. Of course I'm voting for Trump. I will vote for Trump no matter what. If he's the nominee. What I'm trying to tell you is it doesn't matter, because I will tell you right now, I in my opinion, there is no path to win. Not only does he have to take Virginia, not only does he have to take both Carolinas, he's got to get Wisconsin or Michigan, keep Ohio, which has been going purplish. He's got to get Georgia. There's really no path. The states that still didn't like him don't like him now. Now, the only thing you got to consider is if you believe in the stolen election thing. If you believe that, well, then you're going to be like, oh, he's going to win. Well, if you don't believe in that and you actually listen to what I said, he didn't lose by that much. This is really probably going to be decided by anywhere from 250 to 300,000 votes over just a few states. I mean, that's the truth. If the numbers hold up. And I do believe Joe Biden will get less than he did last time. And Trump will probably get the same because his base is the base.
Of course he's going to get less because there's not going to be mail-in ballots.
Well, we're assuming that that's what the Supreme Court's going to do, and we hope that's what the Supreme Court's going to do, but we don't know. They just passed the abortion pill. But here's the thing. I even think Republicans are going to have to, once in a while, even judges have to throw a bone to the Democrats. Otherwise, you pick your fights, you pick your battles. And the ones that we truly want are the ones on the Constitution. We already won Roe v. Wade. You got to take your wins. You got to take your wins. Cindy says, I know for a fact I worked the polls as chief judge for Republicans. Cindy, then call into the show. By the way, it's P-O-L-L-S, not P-O-L-E-S. I don't think you were in the North and South poll. You could have been. Or if you worked the polls and you were at the Diamond Cabaret and the Republicans were there with you, I want their names because I've got some things to say. Cindy, call into the show. Tell me why you think it was stolen. Help me understand. Give me the evidence I'm missing because I've read and seen everything you're talking about, I would assume. Whether it be 2,000 mules, whether it be Dominion servers, whether it be about George Soros, whether it's about mail-in ballots, watermark ballots. I mean, I feel like I'm on a Thanksgiving cornucopia smorgasbord of cheese and beef and crackers. I've got a little bit of everything here. But what I haven't heard is anyone to give any definitive proof versus, well, there's just no way he got 81 million votes. Well, there is a way, and I've told you the way that I believe it happened. I would love to hear yours, so go ahead and call in. But before you do that, we need to go and do this. We've got to. Why? Well, we don't have to, but we've got to. But I don't want to. I'm not excited about this, Liv.
Okay.
This guy's a clown. I mean, he's just a clown. Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Biden in his new commercial. I'm going to have to shrink this down. Hold on. That's what she said. Come there. Put this up here. Take a little off the top. There it is. We have centered. All right, folks. We're going to break this down together. Olivia, I want you involved in this.
Somebody tried to call and said it isn't available.
Hold on. Okay, it's available. Call. Who said they're calling?
Kamala Hammond said she just tried to call.
Kamala Hammond. Sorry, Kamala. The program was closed. I apologize. It will not happen again. Call right now. I'll wait. I won't start the video until you come on. How about that? Me. Is it Kamala or Kamala?
It's C-A-M-E-L-A.
Kamala.
Kamala.
Oh, Camelot.
That's what I would think.
For Lord and country. Listen, some watery tart lobbing swords at you at random is no basis for a democratic system.
Ramon must be a Super Troopers fan.
What did he say?
He's like, enhance, ... enhance, ...
The snozberries taste like
we
snozberries.
need to get a couple of those in here.
Well, we do. All right, come on. Kamala, pick up the phone. Call. You're in. You're ready to go. I'm waiting for you with bells on. I want to get you in here. Hurry up. Come on. 804-504-1955. You've got 20 seconds, and then I got to go ahead and do the thing, do the video. I don't even want to think what my stuff would do if I tried to call in if it crashes. It's just a cell phone number. All you got to do is stop watching the show on Facebook and call in. You'll be able to hear it and everything.
Yeah, just mute Facebook, whatever you're watching on Facebook. Just mute it and call on your phone.
Yep. All right, Camilla, go ahead and call me back. Hold on, Bleacher Report. What's happening?
It's something about the Canes.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We're just going to go ahead and play it. Camilla, call us back and let us know. Oh, here she is.
Perfect.
Hey, thanks for calling the Don't Unfriend Me. Your name real quick before I let you in on air. Kamala Hammond. All right, Kamala.
I got her name right. Yay.
You did get her name right. Congratulations. Let's push the button when you talk. So, Kamala, where are you from?
South Carolina, Lugoff, South Carolina.
Outstanding. What did you want to talk about tonight? You're on the phone with Matt and Olivia.
Well, I've watched y'all a few times, but y'all were talking about the election, and while I can't agree that it was maybe stolen before, I just don't feel like voters really have any say-so anymore. I just don't feel like they're giving us that option anymore with just everything that's going on.
Yeah, well, certainly in the presidential election, I don't know. Most of the country very rarely has any say-so in the presidential election due to the Electoral College. And
Right.
but we also need to understand is that every vote does count, because if everyone from one side just said, well, I'm not going to vote, then you're going to have essentially what happened to Walter Mondale and Ronald Reagan, a 49-1 sweep by Reagan. And the only thing Mondale got was Minnesota, and he almost lost that too.
Well,
So, yeah.
Well, I'm not saying not vote. That is not my opinion. I'm not saying not vote. I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like we're just at a turning point with things that have been going on recently. We have to do more than vote. I've been looking extensively into doing more than voting. And I just think that people have to understand that voting is not the only thing we can do anymore. It's just kind of to that point.
So, Kamala, tell me, what are some of the things we can do besides voting? Because I'm interested to get your perspective.
I mean, you can go, you got your congressman, you can call, I'm not going to name them off. I've been drinking, whatever. I'm not going to name them off right now, but there are several different offices that you can call and do things. And you can just not, I hate to say tolerate isn't the right word, but you just don't have to agree with all this stuff just because it's easier to agree than to not agree. I just feel like people need to hold firm in what they believe and do what they believe, whatever it is. I'm not saying we all have the same beliefs, but what you believe is what you need to stick to, and you don't need to back out just because it makes you a little uncomfortable that people, get kind of aggressive sometimes. Like, you just have to stick with what you think is right.
Well,
and what's going on right now is not right. Like, we're not going to make it much longer if we keep going down this road.
Yeah, I think there's definitely an end to that runway if we continue down this way, because the infighting amongst ourselves is allowing the people who truly have their eyes on our country overseas to see the division that we have, to see the weakness that we have, and that doesn't inspire any confidence. Real quick, can Donald Trump? I got to go before I have another call, but can Donald Trump win?
I mean, he can. I don't know if he's the best person to win, but I mean, Biden's definitely not. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
That's okay. Got a maybe. Maybe's a perfectly acceptable answer. It covers all bases and allows you to not be non-committal to one or the other.
I hope that somebody that cares about our country wins is all I really care about at this point, because the person who's there now doesn't.
Yeah, I think that's abundantly clear. After we watch this video, I think we will. Kamala, thank you for calling. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Kamala.
I won't forget your name because it's like Camelot, so I won't forget it again. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, it's so close to that wretched person. So yeah, just don't get it mixed up.
You're nothing like that wretched person. You're just fine. So I appreciate. I'd rather have you for vice president. I'll tell you that much. Talk to you soon, ma'am.
Have a good night.
Have a great.
All right, bye. Hey, 271, go ahead and call back. I noticed that I'm trying to get off the phones quicker. So 216, give me a call back. I'm going to give you about 35, 40 seconds. If you don't call back, we're going to watch this video. Debbie says, I'm finding myself extremely discouraged lately. I haven't been on social media too much as of late because it's nothing but the minority of people taking over the majority of the people. Debbie, I think that's important. But the problem with that is that when you decide, well, I'm not going to interact anymore, I'm not going to go ahead and pay attention anymore, unfortunately, then that makes the minority even stronger. And eventually, if we all get tired of it and we all give up, the minority is going to become the majority. And isn't that something that's just very terrifying? 804-504-1955. Any other comments we got, Olivia?
No, there's been a lot of Super Trooper calm. A lot of people are going back on Super Trooper stuff. But
Antoinette says, you say I'm right wing, but I think you mean right so far. I love when people say that. They're like, you're right wing. And I said, well, you have half of it right. All right. Waiting for that call. 216. It's your dime. Give us a call. If not, we're going to go ahead and play this video. And I think we're just going to go ahead and play the video. If you want to call in, go ahead and do so. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your president of the United States. We're going to break this down. Olivia is going to chime in, I'm sure. Right, Liv?
yes, I'm sure I will.
How many people we got on Rumble?
35.
How many people we have on?
Only 2 are talking, but.
All right, so we've got 200 some odd people on. That's great.
And then 7 on YouTube, and they're all talking.
Folks, if you have not been to YouTube, listen, even if you're a Rumble fan, you never have to go to the show. Just go and like it. I want to hit that 1,000 because I do care about YouTube, and I believe that my voice is strong enough not to get kicked off of YouTube, and I think I've learned things where we can have conservative voices on YouTube, and it needs to be. Please go out and help out the Don't Unfriend Me Show. It's at The Dumb Show. You can find it on YouTube. Please do me that. Olivia's going to find it on YouTube and get you the link right now while we start this video. I'm going to remember the sound. Remember the sound. Remember the sound. There it is. Here we go. So immediately you see the Capitol building. We know that's January 6th, right?
Of course he was going to play on that.
Of course he is. So you see the January 6th with the smoke. And I will tell you this is what pisses me off, is as a videographer and a person who does graphic design, I can tell when a video is edited. I remember this footage, but you can tell that they added a shit ton of smoke to this. And they purposely increased the contrast in the background to make it look like, you know, a Civil War reenactment of some sort. And they use the gritty filter on here to make, you can see it right here when it transitions. Take a look. See the gritty filter in that transition?
It looks very grainy.
Yeah, they made it look like, you know, and obviously the police and the Trump flags are put in there. And then the megaphones.
Was that somebody on a horse?
Yeah, it was, where?
I don't know. It just looked like it.
No, that's a guy in a camel jacket.
Got it.
Even though I think
It was just, it flashed.
I think there were mounted police officers there that day. And then, of course, you've got abortion is health care. So all the major talking points. Donald Trump's are Nazi insurrectionists. They're going to take away your rights as a woman, that you're only a 1/4 woman, which I don't know where that comes from at all. In fact, does it make you a less of a person when you have an abortion? I think it's a very difficult decision, you know, for any woman to do. And I would never trivialize anyone who makes that decision. That's not what we're talking about. We're not here to condemn the people getting abortions. We're here to stand up for the rights of the children that are being murdered. That's it. You know, and you can say all you want. Oh, you want guns, therefore you don't care about kids. This is a stupid argument. It's a horrible argument, because even if you added up all the school shootings and all the kids who have been shot, which is horrible, mind you, a lot of them in the inner city and democratically run cities, in fact, a vast majority, and you times that by 10,000, you're still not even going to approach remotely close to how many babies were killed in abortion. So don't give me this stuff. See, these false equivalencies, he's going to make them throughout this. So let's go ahead.
I have a question.
Go ahead. What's your question?
With abortion, it's a woman's right to choose. So the women...
Actually, no.
Well...
No. If you're going to make a statement, you got to say it right. No, it's not. There's no such thing as a woman's right to choose.
Isn't that their argument?
That their argument is false.
That's what I was saying. That's their argument.
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you. How about this? How about I let you finish?
Yes.
Since the time I said, "Do you want to marry me?" and I interrupted you, and that probably could have been a mistake. And you're like, yeah, and I'm like, great, that sounds awesome. Let's get married. And you might have been saying no. So go ahead and tell me what your thoughts are.
I'm a really good faker after 20 years. If I was gonna
Trust me, I know that in the bedroom.
I was going to say, their argument is it's a woman's right to choose, so men shouldn't have a say in it, right? So what about the trans women? Because they're technically men, but transitioning, so do they have a say in it now?
Well, that's the whole thing, is that what they say to me is, and I've used this argument, is they say, well, you're a man, you don't have the right to tell me what to do with my body. And I said, so women have the right only to decide? And they said, yeah, that's right. And I said, well, I identify as a woman. Now what?
Exactly.
So, and since I'm a man and I can get pregnant, I should have a say in what people do with their body. Does that make sense? No, of course it doesn't make sense, because it's stupid. It's just like their argument.
Should have a say because he is the father of that child.
Well, that's what you would think. And ultimately, it is the woman's final decision. I mean, she can just fly out to a state that does it and does it. I mean, that's her decision.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that's her right, right?
It's not.
I believe is that if you have a father of that child who is in the life of the child and they want to participate, they should have a say. If I'm going to have to pay 18 years of child support, in my case, almost 20, and I should have a say. And if you don't want me to have a say, well, then fuck it. I'm not paying your child support. How about that?
Exactly.
I mean, it's kind of like taxes. Anyway, let's watch the rest. See, you've got the White House. Like, I'm really surprised that, hold on. I'm really surprised that they didn't drop the flag to half staff. Like, that would have been stage theater of epic proportions. Instead, they found the one non-windy day in Washington, D.C., which is literally a swamp covered by the Atlantic, and there's nothing but wind in that city. It should be called Windy D.C., just like where we live should be called Wind Hill, but it's not at half staff because they probably did. I'm not going to lie. And then somebody said, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't do that because of the gun violence or whatever. But I promise you, the first cut had a flag at half staff. What's up?
I was going to ask, can we watch the video all the way through? Because
No.
I have not watched it, and I want to be able to get all the feels and the emotion
Nope.
of like everyone else.
Nope, we're going to break it
apart. Then we
apart.
can talk about it.
We're going to break it apart because then then people have seen it and they're like, oh, fuck it, I'm leaving.
Okay.
No, that's not a stay. They're here to get the commentary. Trust me.
Freedom.
Oh, fuck. I mean, seriously, it's terrifying. I mean, it's like it's Pennywise jumping out. Pennywise the clown. Look at this.
Freedom.
Ah, jeez, dude. Freedom. What?
I wonder how many takes it took to get that.
Oh, it's all probably AI. I'd be shocked if he actually did it because he mumbles through the lines. Freedom. This isn't about freedom. There's nothing about his campaign that's freedom. Let's see. You silenced and you pushed for social media. You buried the Hunter Biden story. You've redirected all accusations that have laid against you as just fake, and you control the media narrative. You go out and lie every single day. This entire video is a lie. There's not anything true in this video. Jean-Luc Pierre Picard goes out and she sits up on the bully pulpit and dais and she lies. You've got $1 million coming in from China, going all 9 of your family members. You've got top secret security documents in your home, in your office, in your Corvette. Hell, I mean, dude, what the heck? But of course, with you, it's okay because you completely complied, yet you went ahead and leaked documents back to the government on like 5 different occasions when you said, oh no, this is all I've got. And then they found, another 72 boxes in Boston? The guy's a perpetual liar. What freedom are we talking about? Freedom of speech? Well, we don't have that anymore. You guys are literally going after all conservative channels. You're going after my channel. You're going after everybody to silence what's happening because the election's coming up. Do you think that Tucker Carlson being let go, Dan Bongino not being re-signed, that there isn't some reason for that? This is what happens. Look what YouTube had done to Crowder. Look what they've done to, oh my gosh, Matt Walsh was on YouTube. He's been on YouTube for years. He went to Twitter like 5 days ago. He's got 40,000 followers and he had like 600,000 views on his video on Twitter. And he's like, I haven't had that on YouTube for months at a time. And he gets it in one day, 1 week over at Twitter. That same thing for me. I've got more people interacting with my videos on Twitter than a lot of places. And the whole reason why is because Twitter doesn't throttle the voices. So don't give me this freedom stuff.
Personal freedom is fundamental to who we are as Americans.
Personal freedom is fundamental to Republicans, conservatives. See, the difference between a democracy is mob rule. It's majority rule. The most people have the largest voice. With a republic, a constitutional republic, the difference is that the individual rights are first and foremost. And if everybody gets their individual rights and we are considerate of those individual rights and protect those rights, ultimately the collective, all boats rise at high tide. That's the theory at least. And it's worked effectively here and nowhere else around the world for a reason. It's our Constitution. It's our value system. It's our American beliefs. You know, the things we're trying to tear down and say that America is a place of racism, that it's all the 1619 Project, that it's all revisionist history, that it's whitewash history. None of it's true. The founding fathers were racist. They hated religion. The lies are incredible. That the KKK was founded by Republicans, that Abraham Lincoln wasn't the party of freedom and wasn't the Republican Party first real figure to lead us through till today. With the values of ending slavery and equal rights. Hello. But supposedly there was this giant flip in 1860 to 1930 where the Democrat Party and Republican Party switched. Well, then it's kind of funny. It supposedly happened again during civil rights. So where are we now? Which side? Wouldn't that bring us back to being Republican? Or maybe those switches never happen and party alignment does change. The Southern colonies were extremely racist. We understand that. They were tied to the Daughters of the Confederacy and the KKK for years. But what you're saying is states can't change. What you're saying is people can't learn from their mistakes. And yes, the Southern states took a lot longer to learn from their mistakes. But if you go there now, it's not like it was. It's not even close to like it was. If you go to California, if you go to New York, you go to Brooklyn, you go to Baltimore, go try to walk in those cities and let me know how you feel. These are democratically elected cities. I would rather walk down in Louisiana, New Orleans. I'd rather go down to Georgia and even Atlanta, even though it's a scary freaking place, than I would ever want to go into Chicago or go to Baltimore. And trust me, we are right next to Baltimore and we don't go there. We had tickets to the Astros game and we're like, hell no, we won't go. Not a chance.
Nothing more important, nothing more sacred. That's been the work of my first term, to fight for our democracy. This shouldn't be a red or blue issue.
It shouldn't be a red or blue issue, so I'm going to go ahead and the first thing I'm going to show you is a bunch of fascist Trump Nazis and make it a red or blue issue. Does this make any sense to you?
He never makes any sense to me. He really doesn't. And no, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. I mean, I don't know. He never does. He's confused.
To protect our rights, to make sure that everyone in this country is treated equally.
You can't treat everyone in this country equally. It's impossible. Equal outcome there's no such thing. Equity from a dollar value, equating the dollar value over a consistent time period or over a significant investment, that's equity. Making an investment into your house and paying off your mortgage, that's equity. But what you're saying is that everybody gets equal outcomes. There's no such thing. There has never been any country in the world that runs a system based off equity that's been successful. Number one is it hasn't been around that long because the philosophy is completely asinine. We've had a conversation about this. The closest thing you get to an equity-based system is socialism, and that has failed in epic proportions for the last 100 years. 100 million dead. All of it turns into communism. And every socialist out there, none of them can come here and tell you or tell us why it works or where it's worked before. Because what they're going to say is, well, socialism has never been tried before. Man, I used to say that shit when I was 18 years old. That's how long that line's been around. That line has been around since I was 18 and naive, and I was looking into socialism. And I decided to go ahead and tell my dad one time, well, Dad, that's because it's never been tried before. You should have heard the earful that I got. Folks, socialism has been around longer than all of us have been alive, and it's been a failure for much longer. This whole thing about democratic socialism, it's just a clever new name, just like woke, just like white privilege, just like the 1619 Project, just like gender transitioning into male to female and female to male. All of it is just a bunch of bullshit. And the Democrats take words that actually mean something and then they turn them into something else. The perfect example is Florida with the Don't Say Gay bill, where it doesn't say the word gay in any of the bill. It simply talks about sexualization of children and the proper way to ensure that the parents are notified and have carte blanche and have oversight of what the teachers are teaching. But of course, now it's don't say gay. Listen, how can we not say gay? It's on every freaking soda can. It's on every TV commercial. It's in every movie, every book, every song, rainbow flags flying all over the place. It's literally like Richard Simmons fucking exploded and he's all over the place. You can't get away from it. And you know what? Who cares? Because nobody cares where you put your penis. Just don't tell us and our children where to put theirs or where not to put theirs or to lop it off because it's none of your damn business. That's what we care about.
That everyone is given a fair shot at making it. But you know, around the country, MAGA extremists are lining up to take on those bedrock freedoms.
I thought we weren't going to make this red versus blue.
Exactly.
I thought we weren't going to make this red versus blue. Why is it red versus blue?
That's what he's making it.
Why are you showing Social Security? What do you mean? Nobody wants to cut Social Security. It's a Ponzi scheme. It was said today, and it is a Ponzi scheme. You have to pay into it for how many years? 60, 65 years on average? And then you're only going to see 5 years of payments? Does that seem fair to anybody?
No.
The average person collects 5 years of Social Security before they kick off this planet. You know what I'm going to do? I don't give a shit. I'm going to live as long as I can. I am going to be the person that makes this go negative. Social Security is not going to be around for me. It's not going to be around for my wife. We are the last generation that will ever see Social Security in any way, shape, or form. It's going to go bankrupt, and it is a Ponzi scheme. Why don't we incentivize people to invest their money? Why don't we have them take that 2% or whatever it is that comes out of their paycheck, and why don't we have them put it into 7 years, 0 coupons or bonds? And if they can prove that they hold it in there for 7 years, that they'll be awarded something from the United States government, whether it be a stipend or whether it be a percentage increase on their dividend return. Whatever it is, we should make the decision on where this money goes. We don't need the government to give us Social Security. But here's the great thing, just offer options. How hard is that? Why is it so hard for Democrats not to want one singularity on everything? Abortion, kill them as long as you want or else. Guns, ban them all or else. Social Security, either it stays and it goes bankrupt or we never try to help it. Obamacare, penalize and tax everyone, and everyone must carry it. If not, you're going to go ahead and have to pay a fine. Why is it a zero-sum game with them? Why can't we have Social Security provided for the people who want it and then have an option for the private citizen who wants to put it back into the economy or put it in a small business or stick it in an IRA or wherever we want to put it? Why can't we have that option? Well, because that's what Democrats want to do. They created this stupid thing and then they know it's sinking and they have no desire to fix it.
That you paid for your entire life while cutting taxes for the very wealthy, dictating what healthcare decisions women can make, banning books.
Everyone got a tax cut. Everyone got a tax cut under Donald Trump. If you paid more in taxes and you did not have a salary increase, if you did not have a capital gains return or any major lottery winnings, call me at 804-504-1955. I want you to tell me, and I'm going to give you $100 if you go ahead and black out your name and send me your W-2 and show me that you paid more under Donald Trump than you did under Obama or Biden. Show me that and get $100 right now.
I have a question.
Okay. Yes.
Do politicians have to pay taxes?
Yes.
Okay. Just a thought.
Do they? Well, I don't know. We're still waiting to see if Joe Biden paid his taxes on the $1 million that he and his family
He's
got.
talking about the super wealthy. Isn't he the super wealthy?
Well, of course he's the super wealthy. All of them are. All of them are.
Then what are they bitching about?
This is what they always bitch about. It's the whole illusion that if you go ahead, okay, this whole thing, there is a giant misnomer that in 1950, I just did a show on this, that taxes were 90%. That's a complete lie. Hardly anyone paid 90%. Your income had to be hundreds, if not millions of dollars over your previous year income in order to pay 90%. It actually is about the standard tax rate that it is today. The misnomer and the illusion is that less people are paying into IRS and more people are on unemployment, and more people, an older generation, which is extremely large, and a younger generation, which don't make any money or are retired and are pilfering on the system that they paid into. And I don't mean pilfering as a negative. It just means that they are siphoning. You have a larger demographic that pays less taxes. So when you do that and you swell the population that's not working, obviously the taxes are going to have to increase to make up for that, or you're going to extend the period of when people can actually file for government subsidies like Social Security or Medicare, Medicaid, etc. So for them to sit here and say, well, we're just going to go ahead and tax the rich, even if you tax all the billionaires and millionaires in the world and you tax them 75%, you're still not going to go ahead and do it with the budget that we have. It is out of control spending. You cannot tax a country into prosperity. It's impossible. It's never happened. The only way that you go ahead and have a prosperous country, and we have proven this time and time again, and so have all other countries that are quasi-capitalistic, the only way to do it is to free small business and take a regulation away from small business. Once you do that, the middle class rises. But if you don't invest into the middle class, you kill the economy. Period, plain and simple. And that is why we have inflation. That's why we have high gas prices. That's why we got a cold and the rest of the world got a flu, because Biden put restrictions on small business. He put legislation and oversight on small business. He made it harder to get loans. They made it harder to hire people. They shut down the government. These things have impact on the economy. And when you attack the middle class like he did, obviously the economy is going to react. It's a simple process. This is why inflation is where it's at. People say, oh, it's COVID. It's not fucking COVID. It's the reaction that we had to COVID which has caused these problems.
And telling people who they can love. And telling people.
We are not banning books. Every single book that Virginia has questioned is available on Amazon. It's available in public libraries, but you have to be an adult to check it out. Sorry, that's the way it works. You either have to have a permission slip from your parent or you have to be over the 18 years of age. If you aren't, you don't get the book. You know what else you don't get? You don't get cigarettes. You don't get alcohol. You don't get to play Grand Theft Auto. You don't get to look at Pornhub.
You don't get a vote.
You don't get to vote. There's a lot of things you don't get. You have to drive a 2,500 pound vehicle that can slay people because you're too young. There is no reason for a 6-year-old to have these books. It's not banning, you morons. Once again, Democrats taking a word and changing it. This is what they do. It's not banning. It's not book burning. It's simply saying we are the parents and we get to decide what our children consume.
Who they can love, all while making it more difficult for you to be able to vote.
We had the highest turnout in 2020, one of the highest primaries in 2022, or midterms in 2022. More African Americans voted, more Hispanics voted, more women voted, more Asian Americans voted. What the fuck is he talking about? We're not making it harder to vote.
Making it harder to vote Democrat, apparently.
Well, no, this is the problem, is that like Texas decided to close down polling stations. The problem is that every single block had a polling station. Do you know the manpower that takes? Do you know the money that takes? They're not trying to make it easier. They're trying to make it easier to get away with things that they shouldn't get away with. You should not have 3,000 drop-off locations, so we have to take a month and a half to count the votes. It should be a simple process. You mail in your ballot or you drop it off at an authorized center. One ballot per person.
The schools should be the place. That's where I've always gone to vote.
It doesn't matter where it's at. The whole point is that either create a system, stop this bullshit system. Either you do it by mail or you do it by electronics or you do it in person. Having multiple layers and multiple ways to get away with things is the problem. These states don't have the manpower to cover these things. They don't have the manpower to handle these type of things. And if we see a turnout that we did in 2020, which is impossible, and I'm going to tell you, mock me, Olivia.
It's coming.
Mock me.
Yay, I did it.
One more time.
Mock me.
Mock me. Here it is. We had 182 to 186 million people, depending upon which report you look at, vote in 2020. Okay? I'm going to make a prediction right now. Are you ready, Olivia?
Yes.
I bet you we don't reach over 132 million people voting in 2024. Mock me. So where are those 50 million ballots going to go? Well, I'll tell you where those 50 million ballots are going to go. There's not going to be mail-in ballots dumped into the blue cities and given to people who weren't registered to vote, because that's what happened. I have never challenged that the election was stolen. I have always challenged about the stolen. What I will challenge gosh darn it, what I've always challenged is that the election is stolen. What I will say is that the constitutionality of the election is you can't solicit votes. You can't change the state constitution with judges. It has to be done by the state legislature. And they use executive powers from COVID to go ahead and change the law and the way we voted. They're not going to get that chance this time. So they're going to have to come up with something new. And if you think that they got away with it, they didn't. It just happened under everyone's noses. I was screaming about it from the rooftops. I saw all the cases where Republicans went into the swing states and fought these judges and lost. And everyone says, well, SCOTUS didn't hear Trump's argument about the Convention of States and how the states wanted to challenge the election result. They did hear it. They heard it in the lower circuit court. You understand SCOTUS's just don't sit up on Capitol Hill, and that's all they do is review the 2,000 some odd cases a year that go under their door. No, that's not what they do. They go into session. They pick a select amount of cases that are absolutely 100% important to precedent and jurisprudence. They hear those cases and they judge on those cases. Then they go home. And those 9 judges run the 9 district courts. Does everyone understand that? So when you hear about district court, you understand the HMFIC are the Supreme Court justices, and they are like regional managers. They oversee multiple states, and all the judges bubble up to them. They already heard these cases. They already saw the affidavits. They already saw the evidence, and they already reviewed the rulings. This is the problem with this whole narrative. It needs to stop.
When I ran for president
Rocky, I don't ever do the question, so you think, because what you're saying is, so you think. That's not what you think I think. What you're trying to do is you're trying to go ahead and argue my point. So simply just argue your point. I'm going to read it anyway, but I don't do the so you think because it's a trap question. You're trying to get me to commit to something that I never said, but let's go ahead and read it and see if I did. You say, so you think that a few states still counting votes a week after voting day wasn't manufacturing more votes? There's so much proof of voting fraud, it's unreal. You think Biden got 81 million votes while in the basement? You think he got 6 to 7 million more votes than Obama? Okay, think what you want. I didn't say any of those things. You did. Do you see what I'm saying? I've done this so fucking long, Rocky, that I've probably been doing this longer than the original Rocky came out. And people like you do this all the time. I didn't say any of those things. You did. So if you want to have a conversation, call it 804-504-1955, and I'll tell you what I think. But I didn't say any of those things you just said at all. Not one. So no, I don't think. And I don't know how to answer your question because I didn't say any of those things, and I don't think those things. Sorry. And by the way, show me the evidence, because evidence is Latin for the facts. Please show me the facts. Show me that you have documented proof of cheating. And if you show me Dinesh D'Souza's 2,000 mules, I'm going to laugh you out of the room. I'm going to laugh you out of the room. Show me evidence. Show me fraud. And if you're going to show me 2,000 mules, I have a simple question for you. You're going to show me all the people wearing gloves during COVID. Ooh. You're going to show me people going back to a mailbox. Ooh. Let me ask you a question. Prove to me that those votes weren't for Donald Trump. You can't. And that's the one thing that blows his complete story apart. It's a beautiful story. It's very much what Michael Moore does. And I like Dinesh. Dinesh is a smart man. He's more accomplished than I will ever be. He'll make more money than I will ever make. He'll be more prolific and profound than I ever will. But it doesn't mean I still can't go ahead and critique him. The movies that he makes are not always factually accurate. And it is a very nice story. But let me tell you something. If I had evidence of cheating to the level that he says, I wouldn't put it behind a $29.99 paywall, and I wouldn't wait almost a year and a half to even mention it. Just telling you what I think. That's what I think.
Years ago, I said we're in a battle for the soul of America, and we still are. The question we're facing is whether in the years ahead, we have more freedom or less freedom, more rights or fewer. I know what I want the answer to be, and I think you do too.
Please tell me the rights that he's talking about that are no longer available. Do you have any, can you name any right that's gone that you had yesterday that you don't have today?
No.
Me neither. Can anybody listening out there, the 250 some odd people watching across all of our channels, can you please tell me what right you've lost that you no longer have today? I would love to hear it. Let me know. Call in. In fact, if you can tell me what right you lost, I'll give you $10,000.
I can think of one. I have lost the right as a woman to be a woman.
There's no right to
better than a man.
I hate to say it.
I know.
I hate to say it, but that's not a right.
I know.
And you know what? It should be. And we should protect people's, basic makeup of who they are and their identity. And we should find a way to protect those things. But alas, we won't. But if anyone can tell me a right that they've lost, a constitutional freedom that is gone, I'll give you $10,000 and I will put it into your PayPal. You will see me log in and send you $10,000 to PayPal. Please call in and tell me right now.
This is not a time to be complacent. That's why I'm running for re-election.
That's why I'm running for re-election.
Can I just hit my head on the
But see, here's the problem. When we say a right, what we should say is, I have the right to pursue happiness. That is my right. That is a right that is guaranteed in the Declaration of Independence, and it is absolutely synonymous and symbiotic with the Constitution of the United States. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And by having somebody come into my bathroom who is a male makes me feel unsafe. I am not able to pursue happiness because I am fearful that my identity is being taken away from me, that my very makeup of being a matriarch and a mother is being hijacked and held for ransom by a bunch of men who are too weak to be men, so they decide to become women. That is a right. That is an argument you can make. But what you don't get to say is, oh, I have the right to murder. No, murder is illegal. I have the right to abortion. No, murder is what you mean.
You said it much more eloquently than I did.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking of.
But that's not a right. See, that's the problem. But it needs to be spelled out. It needs to be spelled out. We have got to protect where we have come as a country. We've already fought this battle. We've already fought women's rights. We've already fought for civil rights. We don't need to do this again. Why are we fighting for special rights? Because that's what it is. We just want to be treated differently. No, you don't get to be treated differently. You're just like everybody else. Whether you put pants on or a dress, whether you have boobs or you don't, whether you sit down when you pee or stand up, it doesn't matter. You go through the same things that every other American goes through, and you're not getting special treatment because of it. Period. It's just like the hate crimes bill. Crime is crime, and it doesn't matter if you hurt somebody because for any reason, it's a crime. And there shouldn't be special rules for certain crimes. If you kill somebody, the punishment is the same no matter who it is, because nobody cares who was killed that they were gay or that they were black or that they were Christian or Muslim. What they care about is that they're fucking dead. And you have removed them from the planet. When there's only one person who has the right to do that, and you ain't him. That is the issue that I have with this whole special rights crap. That guy didn't call in the show. I wonder why.
Because I know America. I know we're good and decent people. I know we're still a country that believes in honesty and respect and treating each other with dignity. That we're a nation. As long as you're
not a MAGA American.
Where we give hate.
As long as you're not part of MAGA.
Exactly.
As long as you're not a Trump supporter.
As long as you're not a Trump supporter.
As long as you're not
deplorable.
Deplorable or
a MAGA Republican.
Or an extreme MAGA.
Extreme MAGA Republican.
Or an ultra super duper MAGA.
Exactly.
Or a Bible thumping, gun toting, flyover state, uneducated white male. Uneducated white male. As long as you don't have a southern accent, boy, we like you. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds.
I'm amazed they haven't put a picture of him sniffing somebody's hair in there.
There's plenty of pictures of him doing that. I want to recreate this. I want to recut this, like the eulogies to the Klan. Here, a couple quotes. Let's get a couple quotes in here. Let's go ahead and let's get some racist Joe Biden quotes in here. Okay. Here we go. Let's listen to this shit. Oh. This will make this video better. Go for it, Olivia.
Okay.
Give me one.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Hey, there we go. That's a good one.
I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's have a little breath between these. Let's not just stack them on top of each other. Okay, that's a good one. Go ahead.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Wow. That sounds that's all about equality. That's bringing it together. Do we have the one where he calls Delaware a slave state?
Better than anybody else. And you don't know my state. My state was a slave state. My state is a border state. My state is the 8th largest black population in the country. My state is anything from a northeast liberal state.
This shit's impossible. Why aren't these in here? That would be amazing. That we're a nation where we give hate no safe harbor. I don't know about that. That doesn't sound real to me. There's really only one party that's been standing on the pulpit and denouncing every person in another party. Hillary Clinton did it. Obama did it. Biden did it. What the hell? The conservative Christian or Christian Republicans or just straight up Republicans have been ostracized from this country and called names and ridiculed. And I'm not saying we're victims, right? I mean, we've got it pretty good, but let's stop pretending that there is no hate. There's approved hate as long as you agree with the Democratic narrative.
Safe harbor. We believe that everyone is equal, that that everyone should be given a fair shot to
Now it's time to go back into the MAGAs, except for MAGA Republicans.
succeed in this country.
Thank you for choosing us.
Every generation of Americans has faced a moment when they have to defend democracy. Stand up for.
You want to know something? Everybody look at her
When they have
outfit. That is a Confederate. That's something that the rebels would wear in the Confederacy, right? Is that what I'm seeing? That's what it looks like.
It does.
It actually looks like an old British peacoat that was used by the Reds, but she's wearing the gray. It looks like Army Citadel gray. I guess it's better than Klan robes.
defend democracy. Stand up for our personal freedom. Stand up for the right to vote and our civil rights. And this is our moment.
This is our moment, right? Our moment.
Not all of our moments.
This is pandering, dude. Do you see? Listen, I'm going to call it out. This looks like an NAACP fundraiser, and I'm okay with that. I don't care. Listen, we understand the base of the Democratic Party are predominantly a very large minority base. And then obviously people, rich, uppity, white elites. That's pretty much what the Democratic Party is. The people who are blue collar and get their hands dirty, it's pretty much Republicans, right? Let's be honest. That's the middle of America, right? And some counties that are red in New York, Florida, California, etc. But this whole video is like, I'm surprised Al Sharpton's not in here. Jesse Jackson isn't here. This guy is a fucking panderer. And it pisses me off. This guy eulogized 4 Ku Klux Klan members. 4. This guy has dropped the N-word 1,000,000 times more than Donald Trump because Donald Trump's at 0. I have never heard Donald Trump use the N-word ever. Nobody has a tape. Nobody has any innuendo or a scratchy recording in a conference hall. This guy's dropped it a whole bunch of times. And I didn't know. I looked it up, and it's true. He did it in a Senate hearing. He did it in a closed-door room. He's made more black jokes. He makes jokes about Middle Eastern people. He makes jokes. Play roaches. Listen to this shit where he calls black kids roaches, and they're bouncing on his leg. Well, I'm not done.
Sorry.
Where he calls black kids roaches, bouncing up on his leg and playing with his blonde leg hair. Fucking sick. Play it.
And by the way, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Right. By the way, look at the chemtrail. You guys see it up here? There's a chemtrail. They're poisoning everybody. I'm just kidding. That's bullshit. I don't believe in that. And listen, somebody do this. Because if this was a video of Ben Carson running or another African-American running, and all they did was put white people on there, I would call them out for it. I want you to look and I want you to count the place, Baptist Church. This guy is a fucking panderer. And it makes me sick to my stomach that African Americans and minorities are going to have to go through more of the shit they've already went through 75 years. Listen to what I'm saying. You'll hear a lot of people talk about it because of the vote. I don't give a shit about the vote. If you could tell me that the inner cities, that black youth, minorities, Asians, and the people who are suffering in these inner cities, that it would stop. That somehow that we could go ahead and clean up these cities and the railroad tracks would be taken out and we would stop having the left and the right side of the tracks, and crack and violence and the matriarch and patriarch not being in the home, and black youth being killed and murdered and thrown into the frickin' jails, and babies being aborted because modern day eugenics. If you told me that all of that would go away by voting for Joe Biden, my hand to God, on my children's lives, I would vote for Joe Biden tomorrow. No matter what, in world war, inflation, gas prices, food, I don't fucking having to listen to his silly ass for another 4 years. If it would make a bit of difference, I would vote for him, and I would stand on this show and tell every single person to vote for him. It won't, because Democrats have created this problem with their policies. It's them. They will never own it. They'll lie. They'll tell you it's not them. It's a blatant lie. They run the blue cities. 37, actually 38 now out of the top 50 most violent cities in America are ran by blue Democrat policy, and they have been for the last 75 years. If you would tell me that Joe Biden was going to do something and it would get done, even the promise of it, he laid out a 13-step plan like Donald Trump did. 13 steps. The contract with Black America. And it would have worked. If Joe Biden created something like that, how to get our inner cities and the youth and the babies being completely decimated and the family unit being destroyed in inner cities, and you told me that it would happen, that he would create a plan and he would stick to it, I'd vote for him tomorrow. I'll give you my word. How about you? What would you do?
Well, I wouldn't believe him. So
I didn't say that. See, you can't throw variables. Listen, it's a hypothetical, and I know we don't like hypotheticals, but if the modern day Kennedy showed up tomorrow and said those things, would you give it a chance?
I don't know. I'm so distrusting of the Democratic Party.
Well, so am I.
Know. But I mean, if he came forward and basically signed a contract in blood where he's going to lose his firstborn or he's going to be struck down by the heavens if he goes back on his word, yeah, I would. But that would be the only way.
But then that's when you got to, and that's my point. That is my point, is it's, if my grandmother had balls, she would be my grandfather. Exactly. There's a lot of ifs there. So that's why I can say that with the utmost confidence, because it will never happen.
You know, the only way I would is if the entire everyone was wiped out and they start brand new, not wiped out like killed, but gone. Just all of them fired. And starting in 2024, every single political position is new. A new, fresh person coming in. Yes, then I would believe them.
You know what's interesting is that Republicans say this all the time. We want term limits. We want term limits. See, the difference is, people, if you're telling me that we can save 60,000 lives, abortions would drop down, that we would save the 5,000 some odd babies that are murdered each day, that's coming predominantly out of the inner city, I'm sorry, that's worth it to me. That's worth it to me, because right now government policy is causing these problems. The government is not designed to harm the people. This is antithetical. We are wiping out future Michael Jordans. We're wiping out scientists, Frederick Douglass, Maya Angelou. We are wiping out a generation of African Americans, and it's absolutely ludicrous, and it can be stopped. It can be stopped that quick. And it may cost Americans some hard work, and we would have to volunteer, and we would have to put our businesses closer to the areas that are impoverished. But we would require that the police would be there to help us and protect us. That we would have investment from the government for doing so and being incentivized through tax breaks. We need to build closer to the inner cities and get this shit out of there and give people opportunity. If we do not, we're cutting our own throats. This is the problem. And here's the thing. It's a setup catch-22 question, because we know Democrats will never do it. Their policies don't work. But my point being is, if I thought there was actually even a chance that it would and it won't, that's where we need to reach out past our little neighborhood. You need to influence voters that aren't in your vacuum, aren't in your comfortable little circle. We have got to start reaching out past our boundaries and reaching out to other people. Christians are some of the most giving, willing people on the planet. They give until it hurts. Don't give until it feels good. Find a way to help. Volunteer at local churches. Volunteer at food lines. Volunteer at wherever you can to help. And don't do it in your own neighborhood. Do it outside of your neighborhood, whatever it takes. But see, this is the problem, is nobody is going to put this together. Every time a Republican even tries to step foot in these areas, they are lambasted and chased out of town. Look at some of the videos from 2020. There were black state legislatures and senators running in some of these impoverished areas, and they were ran out of town.
I don't understand why. Why wouldn't anyone want to try to have
Because
a better life?
it's a great question. Let me ask you a question. Go back to when we were making $400 a week.
Yeah, and macaroni and cheese or ramen was on the menu for dinner.
Right, and cinder blocks holding up our TV. And if someone knocked on our door and said, "We're going to take away your welfare. We're going to take away your WIC. We're going to go ahead and take away your Planned Parenthood entitlements. We're going to go ahead and take away your food stamps and coupons. But what we're going to do is we're going to put you on a plan of slowly dwindling that down and get you into a work furlough program and get you some on-the-job training and some schooling. And you're going to have to put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this. But we're going to get you off this." What do you say?
Well, if me, I'd say yes.
No, you wouldn't. You'd tell them to go fuck off, because there were plenty of opportunities for us to go and do those things, and we didn't take advantage of it. And the reason why is because we were so scared of losing what we had. We didn't take risks because there was no safety net, right? We didn't go back to college and take less money. We didn't go ahead and move into a lower quality place. We liked the life we had, and we were okay that we had ours.
Yep, that's true.
And if someone came and knocked on the door and said, "You're going to have to risk this all," we would resist. Well, that's why Democrats resist, because it's a guaranteed paycheck for nothing versus hard work for a whole lot of something.
That's unknown.
And you can't guarantee these kids anything. You can't have them work 30 minutes outside their neighborhood. How the fuck are they going to get there? By the bus?
That's true.
The entire thing is they are stuck in these inner cities, and they have a choice of literally going and dealing drugs and joining a gang and making money that is incredible, or working in fast food, because that's really all they have. It's got to change. And it won't under Democratic policy.
Yep.
It comes down to this. The Democratic Party has no incentive to help minority and their base. Why? Because their entire premise is big government and to have people on the government tit. Why would they want to get them off? Because if they get them off, then they're going to be Republicans. You're alienating your base. There's no incentive for them to move their base up, because when they do, they lose them. So why would they?
True.
Look at the Great Society. Go look at LBJ. Go look at what he said. I've said this several times on the show. Without, in so many words, let's give them a little bit of a taste of freedom. Let's give them a little bit of money. Let's give them a little bit of this. And then that blank N-word will vote for us until the day they die. This hasn't changed. It's still the same. It's LBJ's quote. Look it up. You can't read it, though, because of what it says. So what I was asking people to do was go through, and I want you to count how many scenes are African American or minorities and how many people are actually white. And not that it matters too much, but once again, if this was a black candidate, I would say the same thing, because Obama did pandering of his own. Trust me. He pandered to white people. He treated white people different than he treated African Americans. The way he shook hands, where he would put his hand on their elbow or give them a pound on the back, or how he slapped hands. And that's a lot of that's culture. But Hillary Clinton pandered too. So did Joe Biden. Show me Donald Trump pandering. Donald Trump was honest with the community.
He's too egotistical to pander.
Yeah, he didn't pander to anybody. He was honest. He told them exactly the truth. What do you have to lose? You've already lost it all. What do you have to lose? He didn't come in and have tobacco and hot sauce. He didn't come in and talk about fried chicken and grape soda.
What's something that you always carry with you?
Stop pushing it when I'm talking.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Are you getting information right now? Hot sauce. Hot sauce in my bag, Swag?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yes.
Now listen, I just want you to know, people are going to see this and say, okay, she's pandering to black people.
Okay. Is it working?
And I don't care that you push it when I'm talking because they don't have to hear me, but they can't hear the sound clip because I'm talking. You see what I'm saying?
Sorry, you say push it, so I push it.
No, I say no. I'm telling you, find it. It means like giving you a cue of, hey, let whatever. It's fine. I don't care about them not hearing me. I want them to hear the thing. This is what happens. Bill Clinton did it. Bill Clinton gets a Southern draw whenever he was down south. Now he is from Arkansas, but there is a very big difference when he was talking to the elitist. He would be very pragmatic in how he talked, like this. There was very little draw in his voice. But when he got down south, it was more like this, and you can listen to it. And he extends his syllables, and he has that Southern drawl. There was a difference between Bill Clinton down south and up north. Donald Trump talked to everybody the same way. Straight up, the truth. Period.
So if you're with me, go to joebiden.com and sign up.
And if you're not, you ain't black.
Let's finish this job. I know we can. Because this is the United States.
This guy probably has issues finishing a bowel movement. Like, he's going to be how old?
I don't know. Let me find out.
He's going to be like, what, 99, 98 years old by the time he's done if he wins in 2024. How old's he going to be?
All right, let's find out. He is 80 years old. So
2 more years.
So
Inaugurated in January. So he's going to be 82, 86 years old, 87 when he finishes.
Yeah.
Dude, you guys, that's pushing things, man. And he doesn't look too good. I mean, you might very well, this election may come down to this. Are you ready?
Yes.
President Kamala Harris.
I mean, people even Democrats have to look at him and realize he's not all there. He doesn't have the faculties up there to run. I'm saying it the whole time. He's got dementia. He's got early onset dementia. He's got the same symptoms my grandma had. I watched it with my grandma, and I'm seeing it with him.
President Kamala Harris.
Yes. I'm with you on that.
My Lord. Let's finish this.
There's nothing, simply nothing we cannot do if we do it together.
Build back better. Yeah.
No, it's build back better.
Build back better. Do. What is it supposed to be?
I don't know. The music, everything, it's so Hillary Clinton.
It is.
That is just totally a Hillary Clinton promo. And it's just
yes.
the music, everything. I mean, listen, if I have any African Americans, Hispanics listening to the show, and I know we do, call in. Tell me how you feel about that video. How does that video make you feel? Do you feel this American dream that Joe Biden's selling? Do you believe that it's real? Do you believe him that he is not going to ignore you like he has? And I know this for a fact, that black people do not trust the U.S. government, and they have every reason not to. Look at COVID. The largest, they didn't want to tell you this. Dr. Fucky and the rest didn't want to tell you this. The largest demographic besides middle-aged white men and women who weren't from California, New York, Washington, who resisted getting the vaccination, who was it?
I would assume it was African Americans.
African Americans, black people. And the reason why is because they remember the Tuskegee experiment. They remember chlamydia. They remember the testing in the U.S. military. They remember not getting equal pay. They remember not being welcomed home, even from the U.S. government. They remember not being U.S. citizens and treated with a level of respect after WW2. They know. But they still vote for Democrats. And as I hope that Gen Z truly doesn't do what I think Gen Z is going to do, I am praying to God that this next generation of African Americans wake the fuck up and stop. And I'll fight with them. I'll stand with them shoulder to shoulder, and I'll march with you to Washington, D.C. again. But there's got to be a change. For your own benefit, we have got to change something. Chicago is a death zone. There are 3 cities that are the most deadly in the world over Cairo, over Palestine, over any Middle Eastern territory, over any place in China. Hell, you can go to the Congo. You can go to Africa. 3 major U.S. cities are the most dangerous and deadly in the world. It's got to change. And that video is not going to do it, because he's going to pander to black people and then he's going to leave them high and dry once he gets elected, just like he did for the last 2.5 years. He put them on lockdown. They couldn't afford it. He gave them more government help. They extended freaking unemployment instead of giving people better health options, instead of giving them better jobs and vocational training. Love you. Good night, sweetie. Instead of doing all of those things, what did they do? They gave him a shot. They gave him some free money. They shut down their neighborhood, shut down their business, and they told them, you're going to have to toe the line yet again. It's enough. It's enough. There it is, Liv. There's the video.
Oh, so stimulating. I feel so much better after watching it.
I'm not motivated.
Yes.
The pandering is just, it's so ridiculous. Here's the simple thing. Just tell me what he's done for the African-American community. Please give me some numbers.
What's he done to any of us?
I don't care about that. That video is not for any of us. That video is for one group of people. That's all it is. The Baptist Church. Come on.
Yeah.
In the middle of freaking downtown Harlem, please. I mean, you know who he's talking to. He's trying to get the black vote, and the black vote is disenfranchised with him. Everybody's disenfranchised. His own party doesn't want him to run. All right, I got 2 more videos to show you, and then we're done. I want to do this one. This one's really important because, Olivia, I know you're going to have an opinion on this. This is Trump's accuser. And this, okay, I want to be really clear, okay? Olivia, you've seen me storm into places and a guy who was beating the hell out of his girlfriend.
Yes.
You've seen the way I am about that stuff. You know the story of my girlfriend at the time, and her father was sexually molesting her, and I put that guy in the hospital.
Yes.
Rape, incest, no. You don't play games with me when it comes to this. I don't care who you are. I don't tolerate this shit. Women are to be respected, to be coveted, to be idolized. Even my wife, who drives me up the fucking wall sometimes. A lot of times. I'm sorry. I'll give you.
Give me credit where
give you
credit's due.
Credit's due. This is a video 2021. And this is 2019. It doesn't matter. And Anderson Cooper is interviewing the lady who is accusing Donald Trump of not rape.
What is she? What?
I can't give you any more detail other than this, and then we'll talk about it, because Miss Jean Carroll, first of all, she has 3 names, and everyone knows how I feel about women with 3 names.
Somebody said looks like David Bowie back from the dead.
She totally looks like David Bowie. Oh, absolutely. She's like, march on a girl. Looks like David Bowie. This is Jean Carroll. Jean Carroll. She has 3 names. And she's nuts. She's fucking bad. I'm just going to say she's fucking batshit crazy. And me too. Me too. Believe all women? Fuck that. This woman's a lying piece of shit. She's not honest. She's a liar. I don't believe anything she's saying. Not at all. Not one word. I also don't believe the Biden accusers. I don't. I've listened to these people. They're liars. They are. It's just like the producer who's coming out against Tucker Carlson. Oh, really? You came out today? Exactly. You haven't worked for him in 4 years, but you come out today? Oh, I wonder why. Well, because you want your 15 minutes, because he's hot. He's hot. Doesn't matter that he just got fired. Everyone's talking about him. Wow, let's see. Donald Trump's running for president. Let's go ahead and let's make this rape trial go ahead and happen when nothing happened. Now, people are sitting here saying, well, why would Trump have sex with her? First of all, rape isn't sex. Okay. Just make that perfectly clear. Okay. So why would Donald Trump rape her? Well, he didn't rape her by her own admission. She says he didn't rape her. Listen to this batshit crazy lady. The color in this lady's allegedly, the color in her batshit cave. You know what? Fuck that. I'm not going to do allegedly. She's fucking nuts. I pardon the language. I'm sorry for the language. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sherry, I'm not going to talk about Biden's daughter and the diary. Okay. I'm sorry. We're not talking about that. We're talking about sexual assault accusers where there are pending cases. And until that actually is done, I don't have anything to say about that. I don't know. I wouldn't know. If it happened, you know how I feel about that. You don't need to ask me that. So, Matt, do you not think, you know how I feel about the do you not thinks? You're not asking me what I think. You're trying to go ahead and get me to reverse my comment. I will not. It comes down to this. If there is a trial and an active investigation, that's what we're talking about. If Joe Biden's daughter is formally charging Joe Biden with a crime and accusing him of a crime, well, then let's talk about that. Then yes, she deserves absolutely not to be believed, because that's not a part of the equation. She deserves due process, and she has a right to be heard. That's it. She doesn't have a right to be believed until she proves it in the court of law. The only person who has a right is the presumption of innocence to anyone. So Donald Trump is innocent of this. This fucking lady doesn't, I'm not going to support her in her endeavor. Now, if it happened, prove it. Then we'll have a problem. But there's too many of these. Every politician over the last freaking 30 years has been accused of sexual assault, and Supreme Court justices and Senate and state legislation.
None of them have been charged.
None of them have been
as soon as they're out
charged.
of the limelight, they go away.
Come on. Please, 16 women have come out of the woodwork just all of a sudden. I don't have any obligation to believe all women. I don't. And anyone who says that, that's ridiculous. I don't believe anybody without proof. And if you're saying that Donald Trump supposedly pseudo-raped you, then why are you waiting until now? Why was this put on hold? We heard this in 2016. Why are we putting this on? Because she wants a payday. She's suing him for defamation, not rape. She's suing him for impacting her career. She's a fucking gold digger.
I'm very curious as to what he did to her. Why she...
He ran for president. Listen, you don't think the freaking $52 million Mueller investigation found anything? Donald Trump has been investigated more than freaking UFOs and an alien crash. This guy has had the U.S. government up his ass performing a colonoscopy for the last 7 years, and they have found diddly dick zero nothing. Nothing. Oh, he was arrested in New York. Yeah, how's that going, by the way? Have we heard anything? What? Why was it upgraded to a felony? Does anyone know yet? I thought we were going to hear that from Barr or from... what the hell's his name? What the hell's that douchebag? It's not Barr. Barr was Attorney General. Bragg. Whatever the fuck his name was. Why haven't we heard anything about that? What's going on there? If you have 3 names, you're okay, as long as you're not crazy. But most women with 3 names, especially on the left, usually are serial killers. Just letting you know. Let's listen to this. I'm telling you right now, this is the most cringeworthy stuff you've ever heard. If you have not seen this video, I warn you, go get a chalkboard and run your nails down it as hard as you can in an effort not to be more cringed over this video than the chalkboard. That's how bad it is. I mean, not Tucker Carlson, but Anderson Cooper's like this. Lady, I'm fucking gay. And you need to stay away from me. And even if I wasn't gay, you still need to stay away from me. I would not be shocked if Anderson Cooper got a restraining order against this lady. Watch this shit.
It's not serial killers. They're suiciders because they're Hillary Clinton.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes, Hillary has a lot of money. I can handle this lady. I can't handle Hillary. So say allegedly.
Allegedly.
Plus, I don't want to fall on some bullets tonight.
Exactly.
Okay? All right, here it is.
I always think back and think, that was the stupidest thing I've ever done.
All right. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to watch a few things. These are pantomimes. Women have a longer and a a broader level of pantomime outward tells than men, because women are more complex thinkers. That's just the way it works. Men, beer, sex, shit, sleep, rinse and repeat, eat. That's us. Women are, here's the perfect saying, right? The man rolls over to bed, says goodnight, gives his wife a quick peck, right? And then she rolls over and goes, oh, he's stressed at work. Life is so hard. The money's tight. The shopping, the kids. Does he love me? Where's the magic gone? Am I still pretty? Is it Susan or Mary Beth or Angela at work? What's on his mind? What's he thinking? How does he feel about me? Are his feelings and my feelings together and aligned? Does he want me anymore? Does he want to be with me anymore? Do I bore him? Am I fat? Am I okay? Are my shoes acceptable to him? My purse, does it match my leather belt? What else can I do for him? And then in his mind, he's like, fuck, I hope the 49ers beat the Dallas Cowboys tomorrow. And that pretty much sums up men and women, okay? So the pantomimes of a woman are more complex. Now, I want you to watch her, whether she goes up into the creative part of her brain or goes down. I want you to watch her hands. Does she cover her mouth when she talks? Does she try to break eye contact? Does she fidget? Does she show subconsciously a head nod of yes, trying to convince, or no, giving her tell that she doesn't even believe what she's saying? Watch her mannerisms. Listen to the inflection of her voice. These tells are, they teach us in intelligence training, especially counterintelligence. And you can really spot when someone's lying. Olivia, how good am I at spotting when people are lying?
Oh my God. You don't even have to be looking at them. You can tell by the inflection of their voice, just like Ethan the other day knew he was lying when he came in the door and you didn't even see him. You knew he lied to me. Yep.
It's listen, there's like, John Boy for baseball. This guy can read lips like nobody's business. I read people like he reads lips. I just know when you're lying, and it suits me well. And it's, a lot of people ask me, well, Matt, what, you're right about stuff and you have been wrong very little. Why? Well, because I also listen to people and I study people and I watch people. This lady, Matt, have you watched the behavioral panel yet? Yep. It's not impressive. It's basic techniques that I already know. But yeah, it is what it is. It's nothing I haven't already learned from people who are a lot better at it. But yeah, I did watch it, Vicky. You told me to. All right, watch this. Watch your body language. Watch everything.
Should never have done it. And then I didn't behave.
When you say I should have never done it, you mean?
That was just a dumb thing, to go into a dressing room with a man that I hardly know and have him shut the door and then be unable to stop him. And I was a competitive athlete, so I wasn't like a...
There's lie number one. Look up her job, will you?
What's her name? I can't see.
Her name's E. Jean Carroll.
E like J.
E. Jean, Jean, and then Carroll. All three names. Watch this.
Okay.
Hold on.
American journalist. Let me see.
Yeah, type in athlete.
Okay.
So if you watch her now, once you get your first sign that you know she's lying about something, find out what lie it is. And then you confirm and you have her tells. You have her signs. We've already seen one of them. Is she an athlete?
I'm looking.
Said she was a professional athlete, competitive athlete.
Okay.
I believe that was her first lie. Or she's exaggerating, or she's telling you something that's more than what it actually was.
I'm going to find out. Hang on.
Okay, so.
I'll look. Hang on.
Okay, you look and let me know what you find out.
I didn't freeze.
That right there. Watch. Down and to the left. Down and to the left. Down and to the left. Just like Kennedy. No, I'm kidding. Back and to the left was Kennedy. That's a little humor. Sorry.
And I was a competitive athlete. So I wasn't.
Okay, that's the only time she doesn't look him in the eye. She is eye locked with him for the entire 22 seconds. Watch it again and watch when she breaks eye contact. Here it is.
I always think back and think that was.
Okay, so she's down into the creative portion. She's going to head and do her 20 seconds
It's
and
the
watch.
stupidest thing I've ever done. I should never.
Okay, so stupidest thing she ever done. She didn't look at him at all. And then all of a sudden, bam, she's locking eyes with him.
And then I didn't behave.
When you say I should have never done it, you mean?
That was just a dumb thing to go into a dressing room with a man that I hardly know and have him shut the door and then be unable to stop him. And I was a competitive athlete.
So you notice that she does look away a couple times, but that was a complete disengagement.
I found her professional athlete. She was Miss Cheerleader USA in 1964. That's a professional athlete.
Thank you.
I don't know what, but this
Thank
is,
you.
she wrote
Okay.
an L from 93 to 2020.
Okay.
And her opinions on sex are insistence that women should never structure their lives around men. I mean,
Okay. So there it is. Lie, right? So I picked out the lie. So now that I've got her tell, and now I have a basis to go off of, I'm going to fucking destroy this lady because that's a lie. And I know it's a lie because cheerleading is not a competitive sport. I don't care what, not at her size. How tall is she?
Let's find out.
Find that out for me while we listen. Won't you, love? Appreciate it.
I wasn't like I didn't freeze. I rose to the occasion.
See? Down, down, down. Constantly. Deception. That's what it is. Her eyes are going down and she is coming back up and re-engaging after she tells the fib. If you watch me on my show,
5'8".
she's 5'8". Yeah. And that's fine. She's not a competitive. You're not a competitive athlete if you're a cheerleader. She is exaggerating her qualifications.
And it did not last long.
See? She's not making eye contact now. This is deception persona non grata. I mean, she is absolutely being, like, if I was interrogating this woman, I would be leaning in heavy. Like, my questions would completely change. And I would start redirecting questions based on this and start diving into, well, what did you compete in? What type of trophies did you win? Did you have a scholarship? How much training did you do? Did your parents take you in city, out of the state? And I would start asking probing questions about this and taking an interest, but doing it in a way where she would want to share with me. And then the lies will continue. And every time she tells a lie, I'm sitting here checking it off and watching her face and looking for her to replicate. Just because she goes down doesn't mean she's being necessarily dismissive or defensive. It's the time she does it and how emphatically she does it, how quickly she'll remove once she starts lying and looks down and away and breaks eye contact. It's not always. There will be emphatic ways she does it, and that's when she was talking about being a competitive athlete.
And that's why I don't use the word you just used. I use the word fight.
You don't use the word rape.
Okay, so now this is interesting because I saw a little bit of this, but I really didn't analyze it. But watch when she goes ahead and says her final word. Now she's breaking contact with her being deceptive, and now she's seeing if it took. Watch her face right here. I mean, it's so blatantly obvious. She re-engages with the eyes and looking at Anderson like, did you just believe anything I said?
I use the word fight.
Boom, right there. That's the first eye contact she's had in 13 seconds. That's actually substantive and determined. And she's going, are you listening and believing what I'm saying? Are you bought in? Any cop will tell you. Where the hell's Tina? Is Tina here? Young, I believe her name is. She's a police officer. She'll tell you. Listen.
Don't use the word rape.
Sexual violence is.
Boom. Now she's going up. Now she's going into the creative portion of her brain. Now she's starting to, she's going into the memory cortex of her brain. So she's going back into something and saying, okay, what did I say before? Did I call it rape before? And now she's going into her memory, no longer the creative portion.
Sexual violence is in every country, in every strata.
Now, remember when I told you about the nose? This is where she's saying something she doesn't believe. So that's that subconscious movement. She's going, no. So she's dismissing her own argument. If you watch Salesman, I'm really good at it, is that I'll do like this. Yes, absolutely, 100%. But if I don't necessarily believe what I'm saying, you'll start seeing me move my head to the side. It is a subconscious trait in people that they start dismissing their own arguments or they emphatically support what they're saying. And when you get the head nods, you can do it so well, like I'm doing it right now, and you can see me going up and down, is that I get other people to do it. And that's how I know I've closed the sale. When I'm selling you a TV, or I'm selling you a piece of property, or I'm selling you a marketing plan, I watch for your buying signals. And when you start head nodding with me because the story I'm telling you is taking, you might even be doing it right now while I'm talking, and you don't even know you're doing it, but going, yeah, okay, Matt's onto something here. That is the subconscious at work. And if you can control it and do it, you can have other people start buying into it. So she is subconsciously going, no. She's telling you right now she's not being honest.
Of society. And
You don't use the word rape.
sexual violence is in every country, in every strata of society. And I just feel that so many women are undergoing sexual violence. Mine was short. I got out. I'm happy now.
Bullshit.
What store was she in?
It's not important. We'll get to that story in a minute. Let's keep watching this and then holding that, because I don't know the whole story. All I do know is that it's actually like a story that was on like NCIS or LA Law, and someone found it, and it's the exact story that she said. I played it. And I'm like, holy shit. This is an episode from a TV show she's talking about.
Moving on. And I think of all the women who are enduring constant sexual violence. So this one instant, this one, 3 minutes in this little dressing room, I just say it's a fight. That way I'm not the victim, right? I'm not the
Liv, are you listening to this?
Yes, I am.
Let's stop looking it up. We'll look it up in a minute. I want you to listen to this woman because your insight is really important to me.
victim.
You don't feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
Well, I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
What the fuck?
Assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Maybe.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're just going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
Holy shit. Anderson Cooper was stumbling there like, oh, what the fuck did she just say that?
Anderson Cooper is like, well, if I wasn't gay, I am now.
Holy shit. So I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there a statute of limitations on when you can come forward from a rape?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because this was 30 years ago.
No, but understand that investigations and charges aren't the same thing. You can make an accusation and have it be investigated, but the charges aren't decided before the investigation takes place. So if a DA decides not to prosecute based upon statute of limitations, that's not even decided before the investigation phase. So hold on. Once an accusation is made by somebody, the authorities have absolute 100% the responsibility to investigate that crime. As far as limitations, that's going to be up to the DA and the prosecutor. Okay. Mm-hmm. So this is why this is happening. Now, this makes me sick because I've been accused of something that I didn't do, and it certainly wasn't rape. But I have been accused of something most recently that we've talked about on this show, and it pisses me off because the people that were involved in this and the way that it was done was personal, and it wasn't accurate. This lady, if I am a prosecutor and I look at this, I'm going, oh, I really don't like Donald Trump. But there's nothing, this lady, I can't put this lady on the stand. This lady is insane. Rape is, people consider rape sexual.
The way she was talking, it sounds like she enjoyed it. It sounds like maybe she initiated it.
Right. Well, there are people that do that. I mean, attention seekers would do that. But I'm not going to accuse her of anything and what her intentions are. I'm just telling you she's full of shit.
Yeah, I could tell too.
That's all I'm telling you.
I've never heard anyone who has been raped or molested or anything like that say it was sexy. I can tell you, because I've been cornered into a room by a strange man. He didn't touch me, but I could tell you it wasn't sexy with him hitting on me and trying to corner me a room.
So Ian says the following, not sure what the exact argument is here. Someone posted her credentials. Some people are competitive in nature. I'm not, unless it comes a couple things otherwise, because you're on national TV saying that you did something that you didn't do. And it's all about credibility at this point. You have a 3-minute window to establish credibility. Do you feel, Ian, in any way, shape, or form, she established credibility with you? The answer to me is not only no, but hell no. So in that 3 minutes, you have to ask yourself, she's prepared for this. Her lawyer has talked to her. You're on national news. You're on the biggest stage of your life. Here's your talking points. These are the things you're going to want to say. Here's how you're going to want to act. This is how you convey your message to get the American people on your side. And she fucking failed miserably. So that was at her best. Can you imagine her at her worst when a prosecutor gets a hold of her or a defense attorney gets a hold of her in cross-examination? She's going to get destroyed. I mean, that lady's gonna be like, so you think rape is a term of endearment? Like a hug? If I was the defense, I would say, so how do you feel about hugs? Is that rape? Well, you just said rape is a sexual type thing. It's a term of endearment, right?
It's sexy.
It's an expression. It's not one of violence. So what about a peck on the cheek? What about a compliment? What do you consider rape to actually be? What's your definition of rape? And if you can't define what rape is, then how can you accuse somebody of rape? And if you're not accusing somebody of rape, then what are you accusing somebody of? Making you feel uncomfortable in a dressing room? Well, why did you go in the dressing room willingly like you said you were? Well, so you did this on your own volition. And in this dressing room, please describe to me, well, how big was this dressing room? Did it have a seat? Was it made out of wood like most in the corner, caddy corner? So how much overall room did you have? Donald Trump is 6'6", 6'5". You're 5'8". Between the both of you, you're spreading out about 350 pounds amongst the both of you. Please tell me, how did he force you down and how did he do it? Was he on his knees? Was he on one leg? Was he doing a push-up with his feet up on the wall? Walk me through this. Let's go ahead and demonstrate with a couple of clay models, and you can go ahead and reposition them in this little space and show me how it was done. You're going to destroy this lady. I would destroy this. You give me 10 minutes on my show, and I'll have this lady sitting here going, you know what? I made up the whole thing.
He'd be a good lawyer.
It's just ridiculous. The notion of it's completely stupid. Every single person's been in a fucking dressing room. My wife and I've tried to have sex in a dressing room. It's impossible. I would rather have sex in the back of a Volkswagen.
Try it on a plane.
Try it on a plane. You can't do it. But this Mile High Club's a bunch of liars.
Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit.
They're a bunch of liars. It's impossible.
Liar.
I mean, first of all, you go ahead and you sit up on the thing and the fucking toilet goes and it literally...
You feel like you're going to get sucked out of the plane.
And then, you set her ass up there and it's all wet and there's paper towels.
And then it's blue.
And then the faucet goes and it goes right down her ass crack and it's like a water jet. And then, God forbid, you got to pull your pants back up in a hurry and you slap your head on the counter and then hit it on the back of the wall. You can't have sex in a plane.
Just watch the movie Just Married.
So the whole point of this is that it would take me 10 minutes to blow this lady apart in her story. And I don't take any pleasure in it because she may have went through something traumatic, but this is just like Sally Jesse Blasey Ford or whatever the fuck her name was. I told you she was lying. I told everyone she was lying. I did a show on that she was lying on my Facebook page. And I told you what she was going to say. She won't have specific dates. She won't have specific times. She won't remember the address. She won't remember who is in the room. She's going to deflect because she doesn't want to perjure herself. And that is a sign of being defensive on the stand. And the moment that she was sworn in and had to put her hand on the Bible, she forgot everything. All of her statements in the affidavit weren't together. And the reason why is because she didn't want to fucking perjure herself.
Robbie from YouTube said she probably came on to him and he got rejected.
I don't even know if that took place. I'm not going to assume intent. I'm just going to tell you that she's not being honest. So for all these people who are like, oh, Donald Trump, he's going to get charged with rape. Here we go again. Just a big nothing burger, a giant bun with nothing on it, just like fucking New York will be with Bragg. Now they're going to get to Georgia. And you know what's going to happen? Trump's going to have eyewitnesses that are going to say Kemp is going to defend Trump. Just because Donald Trump threw Kemp under the bus, Kemp is in no way, shape, or form, after just winning the governorship, going to indict himself. It's not going to happen because he'll be a co-conspirator. The moment he says that Donald Trump asked him to do anything illegal, he's a co-conspirator and he's going to end his career. He's not stupid. He's not going to fucking say that. Even if it's true, which it's not, even if it's true, there's no way he's going to self-incriminate. Are you kidding me? You know what he's going to say? Donald Trump called me and here were his words. And the prosecutor's going to say, so he told you to go find 15,000 votes, huh? And make it happen. No, that's not the way he said. That wasn't his tone. It's easy for you to say that when you're reading it from a piece of black and white paper, but inflection is important. Mannerisms and pantomimes are important. And here is the tone of voice if you would like me to emulate. It's very simple. When he called me, he simply said, Kemp, we've got to find you. You know, it's so close. You know, Georgia, you know what happened with Stacey Abrams. You know, they're trying to cheat this thing for me. You got to be able to dig in. I need you to go do a recount. I need you to find those votes because you know they're there for me. This could be the entire election. You're a part of my party. Let's get this done. Let's work together. Let's find out. That's not election interference. You're telling me and looking me square in the eye that Al Gore didn't call the DNC in Florida in 2000. You're telling me he didn't? Well, he did because, I guarantee, and I'll tell you why, because there were 100 fucking lawyers from the DNC in Florida 5 minutes after it happened. So don't tell me that he didn't call and ask for help too. Donald Trump has every right to call a governor who the governors report directly to the president, because that's the way this works. Whether you know it or not, the president of the United States is not the president of the people. He's the president of the states. And your elected representative, your true elected representative, who is your president of your state, is your governor. He has every right to call a governor and say, listen, how are we doing out there? How's that weather? How's that hurricane? Do you need any help? Do you need any money? Is that quid pro quo? No. Just like he would call and say, how's that election going? You guys found those 15,000 fucking votes? Because I'm telling you, I'm going to lose Georgia. And if I do, we're going to lose the election. Do you really want Joe Biden in there? Kemper, go find those votes. Go push whatever buttons you need to do. Rally the troops. Let's go and recount. Let's do it. Let's go make sure everyone's doing their job. All right, let's go. Let's go find those votes. That's a lot different than, Brian, go ahead and find those votes, you see? If you don't, I'm going to go ahead and sick Russia on you, and Putin's going to blow you up. You better fucking find them, or you'll be sleeping with the fishes. That's not what happened. So they're going to go ahead and try to make that stick.
I'm an offer he can't refuse.
I'll make an offer he can't refuse. Are you talking to me? You sound like you're talking to me.
I need to get some.
You can't freaking all this shit. It's just distraction, folks. It's just stupid. It's the same thing they did to Bill Clinton. It's the same thing they did to Obama with the birth certificate and all that other bullshit. This is what they do. It's to keep you focused on things that you shouldn't be focused on. You want to know what? We're about ready to go and put boots on the ground in Africa. Did anyone know?
Somebody mentioned it, but I didn't find anything.
Anyone know?
No, where?
Well, if you ever want to find out what's going, look at the head story and go down all the way to page 32, and that's the most important thing. It's always on the back end of the news cycle. We're putting boots in the, and we're going to Djibouti. Djibouti.
Ooh, Djibouti.
A Djibouti.
Later tonight.
Jesus. Talk about having sex in uncomfortable places.
Where is that? Exactly?
It's not. We're not talking about that right now. But the point is we'll talk about it tomorrow on the Wednesday show when Leroy gets here, because I want Leroy's perspective.
Got it. Okay.
But the whole point is we're putting boots on the ground in Africa. That should bother us in Sudan. That's serious. It's hello. Because if you haven't been paying attention, China, Iran, and South Africa have come together with their currencies. And although that is not going to impact the overall dollar because it's a scintilla of the overall dollar valuation, Africa's becoming a hotbed. And as the Middle East was going to be the hotbed for the 80s and 90s after the Cold War was over, Africa is going to launch us into 2040. And people think it's Taiwan. Africa is one of the most lucrative properties as far as mineral rights, natural oil reserves. It has amazing coastlines for imports and exports. Africa has the opportunity to be the next Saudi Arabia. It has the next opportunity to be the next United Arab Emirates or Bahrain. Africa is going to be a seabed of conflict, and countries are going to be vying for its natural resources and its potential. We should be concerned. Because now we went from Donald Trump, who had no proxy wars, no open conflicts, was scaling Afghanistan down. And now you've got Joe Biden, which is like, well, let's go into the Sudan. Let's go into Africa. Let's go ahead and give $150 billion to Ukraine. Let's go ahead and tell Japan that if anyone even blinks on Taiwan, that we're going to go to war. I mean, talk about war hawks, man. The Democrat Party. Got to think about these things. All right, folks, one last video, and then Olivia and I are going to go Didjibooty. It's not how you say it, by the way. It's not Didjibooty, but it's spelled Didjibooty, and you go Didjibooty. Did you booty? Did you booty today? I sure did. I did it twice. Amy Sid says, I hear they do not want to have debates. Matt, thanks for bringing us current political news. No problem, Vicky. I love you. Vicky's awesome. I hope you're feeling better after your surgery. Africa is a huge opportunity. And there's also a few things that I can't talk about with Africa where there's U.S. interests. Leroy knows what I'm talking about, and people who served. I know Mike Blankman knows what I'm talking about. But if you think that we don't have assets in your booty, sorry, if you don't think we have American interests in Africa, we do.
I get a question. So somebody just said Biden needs to be a wartime president to be reelected.
Who said it? Who said it?
Deidre Daly.
Deidre, you've been listening to my show. You know that's my line. I love you, Deidre. Deidre, thank you so much for saying that because you know it's true. I've said, when did I say that, kiddo? How long has it been since I've been saying that?
Because there's been no president that has, if there's been a war going, that president's been reelected every time, correct?
So wartime presidents this is careful. There hasn't been a war declared since World War II, so it's not fair. But war has changed. I mean, open conflict, proxy wars, but essentially a major conflict where there's more than one country involved. That would be Afghanistan. That would be Iraq. That would be. So Vietnam, Korea, et cetera, et cetera. Even Grenada, for God's sakes. No, Grenada doesn't count. We were the only ones. But
she said 2.5 years.
Yeah, for 2.5 years I've been saying this, and I told you the only way Joe Biden's going to get reelected is if there's a wartime.
And
if there's
boots on the ground now.
If there's open conflict and boots are on the ground, because America does not change out wartime presidents. They've wanted to make changes to presidents before, but you don't change out wartime presidents. It's just not good policy, and they have felt that way all the way to FDR. It's just you don't do it, and it's especially an incumbent. And I said, if there's one way that he can guarantee reelection, no matter how shitty of a president he is, and I predicted that he was going to be worse than Carter, and he was. I'm sorry, folks, but, I got to chalk up the wins. It's not lying if it's true. It's not bragging if it's true. And I said that an open major conflict would keep him in office, and here we are. And we're prepping for it. He's got some. All right, I'm going to put 62 black. I'm going to go ahead and put that on Taiwan. 32 red. Let's go ahead and put that on Africa and the Sudan. Fuck it. Yeah, let's put a 12. Let's put on double zeros green on Ukraine. All right, roll it. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, 32 red has come. Fuck yeah, we're going to Taiwan. I'm going to get reelected. Let's go.
Or maybe like a kid's birthday party, have pin the tail on the donkey, have a map of the world up on the wall, and put a blindfold on him, spin him around a few times, and wherever he touches, that's where he's going to go invade. Possibly.
Amy Bordeaux says, is this show just y'all's foreplay?
A lot of the time.
Yeah, but I agree.
We can see each other all the time, so, you know.
Sometimes we have a pole behind her, and she slides up and down when we have a light ball that you can't see that goes, what? Porn playing behind her. I mean, come on. I guess if you want to call that foreplay, I mean, it's awful tame. Don't take your bra off. Don't. She has this thing where she does the woman thing where she reaches in her shirt and pulls it out. And I feel like a rock star. I feel like it should be Bon Jovi. I'm halfway there. Living on a prayer. All right.
This is foreplay.
Yeah, I think it's foreplay.
It's flirting.
So, folks, that's pretty much it. We had a whole bunch of people on. I think there was one other one I wanted to play before we got this. Okay. I'm going to show you two series of videos back to back, and we're not going to say much, okay? Because to me, this will show you what you're going to get from the Democratic Party. And this is to, if you want to have a conversation and you're talking to anybody from the African Americans to Hispanics to Asian Americans to even women who are a little bit sour on the Republican Party, I want you to remember these two videos, because this sums up we do have a room. We're in a room, Bev. Come on. So this sums up what you're going to get from the Democratic Party. Here it is.
Look, demonizing children is wrong. We have to keep them safe as well. Have you ever taught middle school? I have.
Okay, so this is the asshat who took over for Beetlejuice in Chicago mayor.
Beetlejuice.
Lori Lightfoot, right. So
I just call her the struck match.
That's horrible.
I know.
You can't say that shit on. That's just stop.
Okay.
That's horrible. That is horrible and not funny and wrong. Beetlejuice, at least as a white guy in clown makeup who is dead. Your comment is very inappropriate.
Look,
you should
demonizing
say you're sorry
children
right now. No, don't
is
say you're
wrong.
Sorry. So now that we've said that, and I'm probably going to get banned for the rest of my life, and we're going to take attention away from it. Let's look at this guy, who is very similar to Lori Lightfoot in a lot of ways, in the sense that he is very progressive. He reminds me a lot of Fetterman. He to me looks like the black Fetterman. He talks like Fetterman. His overall vocabulary is that of Fetterman. And I don't consider this guy to be very highbrow in any way, shape, or form. But he is a progressive. And this is the same thing that Lori Lightfoot. So this is a prime example. Chicago, gosh darn it, I got to flip the camera. Hold on.
Look, demonizing children.
Lori Lightfoot has been one of the worst mayors that the U.S. has ever seen. I mean, they 86'd her ass as fast as you possibly could see. I mean, they abandoned her like the U.S. government abandoned Fauci after Rand Paul put him to task with gain of function research. And you notice how nobody talks about Fauci anymore. They just want him to go away. But this guy is a progressive lawyer, and he believes in catch and release. Now, what he's referring to is the Chicago riots that happened. There were very small pockets of riots where people were stealing, going into gas stations, going into corporate offices, destroying cars, lighting things on fire. This what happened in Chicago a week or two ago. And he is going to dismiss these riots as kids being kids. And the level of accountability is nil. Listen to this.
Look, demonizing children is wrong. We have to keep them safe as well. Have you ever taught middle school? I have. Have you?
Oh, well, that qualifies you. Thank you. We have a middle school teacher. I remember my middle school teacher. I slept with her when I was 21 years old. I remember my middle school teacher. When I hit 21, she was a balmy age of, I think, 33, and I slept with her. I don't hold a lot of value in teachers to begin with. And it's not that I don't love teachers. I've got family who are teachers. I care about them immensely, and they are great at their jobs. The reason why I can't stand teachers are because of the unions. And bad teachers, like this guy, wind up keeping their job, not because they're good at it. I mean, listen, if you have a C- average across the United States, you shouldn't keep your fucking job. You should be fired. Teachers should be fired. If your kids don't pass their curriculum, you should be fired. And you don't get on a written warning. You just literally failed hundreds of children. You should lose your job. If I performed like teachers, are you kidding me? Can you imagine if I'm presenting my TPS report to the vice president of the company or the president of the company? I'm like, yeah, well, let's see. Well, how do we do on revenue? Well, we got about a C-. Margin, C-. Let's see. Overall market share growth, C-. So what you're telling me is that we lost in every category that was possible. How about KPI indicators? Oh, well, there was light there. We got a C. You're fired. You're gone. You're gone. You just lost the company millions, if not billions of dollars. You're fired. If I ran companies like that for corporate America, I wouldn't have a job. Why does this guy and any teacher who fails their children consistently have a job? There are teachers in our community, Mr. Lawson, who works tirelessly to help our children get better grades. My son has B's, and it's not because of the teaching, I'll tell you that much. It's because of my son's laziness. My daughter has A's because of her effectiveness and the way her teachers push her. You have any questions about our teachers, or do you believe that these teachers do a great job?
I think they all do a great job. I mean, we've had questionable teachers in the past, and we called them out on it and how that was. But majority of the teachers our kids have had have been awesome and great, and the kids adore them.
Right. So here is a perfect example of continued doing the things ad nauseum. And getting the same result. And people say that's the definition of insanity. That's not the definition of insanity. I don't understand why people say it. Freud said doing the same thing over and over and getting the same results, definition of insanity. No, it's not. Freud never said that. Freud never said anything close. What he said was the Irish are resistant to any form of psychiatry because they are insane and they have no conscience.
So, okay, so doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same results is insanity. So what happens when you drive to work 5 days a week? Because you're doing the same thing over again with the same result.
That sounds like that does sound like insanity.
just you know.
But that's not what he meant. But that's why it's a stupid statement. That's not the definition of insanity.
That's where I was going.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. At least you didn't say what you said earlier.
Raise young people.
And listen to me. My daughter or my wife has not a racist bone in her body in any way, shape, or form, and is one of the most accepting and loving people I have ever met. There is no one better at getting stains out of white sheets as my wife is. And she never misses a white sale at Kmart.
Oh my gosh.
And I have never seen anyone clean up spick and span after a good cross burning. She gets that charcoal right out of her skin. And she's good at it. So you show some respect to my wife.
You've had your oopsies.
Oh yeah,
past,
you said something.
So
No, I actually don't say racist shit on my show. It's just me because I've been in corporate. You just said something that is a funny joke, but not appropriate. And you know what? Nobody cares. Everyone knows who you are. And I was just teasing you. And you're not a racist.
Of course I'm not.
Much.
Understand the risk that young people take just because they're young? Do you know that home plate is at the bottom of my stairs? I found that out when my son was sliding down those stairs trying to score. They're young.
What the fuck is this guy?
Are you talking about? Home plate at the bottom of the stairs?
You're talking about peddling drugs and prostitution, assassinations in neighborhoods from young kids based upon color and demographic. And you're talking about your child sliding. Your son sounds stupid. You need to get him some help. No offense. Any child that slides down the stairs on their stomach more than one time needs mental help. I'm sorry, kids do stupid things, but usually they learn. They don't go put their hand on the hot stove. Daddy, look at me. Psst. Then go back tomorrow. Daddy, look at me. Psst. You need to get that kid in some hospital or something. He sounds like Fetterman.
Sometimes they make silly decisions. They do. And so we have to make sure that we are investing to make sure that young people know that they are supported.
Look, silly decisions. Riots are silly decision. Burning down businesses are silly decisions. Beating the shit out of people because of the color of their skin is silly decisions. Just like BLM, it was all a silly decision. We're sorry that $2.5 billion of insurable and non-insurable damage happened. It was just a silly decision. Here's another one for you, and I want you to listen to this because this is probably one of the most articulate and fantastic, and it's antithetical to this bozo.
My view on the presidential primaries amongst Republicans.
This is Byron Daniels. He is a representative from Florida, and I want you to look at the absolute disdain that the man on the right has for him. And when you see it, it's just hatred. And this is the way that black conservatives are treated in Washington by the media, is they are considered to be Uncle Toms. Now, Byron Donalds is an intelligent, articulate, well-spoken, well-put-together black man. Joe Biden would even say he's the cleanest black man he's ever known.
Oh, my God.
Joe Biden said it, folks, not me. That's your fucking president who says stuff like that. He's clean. Oh,
is he brown?
Is he clean? Is he brown? Let him in, Mikey, if he's brown. Check his toes. Is he clean? Dude, shh. It's the pink dot guy. Anybody tell me the movie? I'll give you a free T-shirt. You have 35 seconds to tell me the movie that Olivia and I just
first
quoted.
person to call in and tell us.
No, first person to just tell us the name of the movie. You have 35 seconds. You now have 30.
I'm watching all the channels.
You have 25 seconds to tell me the movie.
You had to give me a little longer because
No, I don't.
10 seconds behind.
No, I don't. That's why I gave him 35.
Okay.
You have 20 seconds. If anyone gets this.
I'm not seeing anything. No one's even guessing right now.
You have 15 seconds. You have 10 seconds. 5 seconds.
He didn't. A couple people said they didn't hear what we said.
Well, that's your fault. You got to listen to every word. 0.
They want us to give the line again.
I'll do see. Okay, you ready?
Is it clean?
No, gosh, damn it.
Sorry.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Mikey, go get the door. Mikey, go get the door. It's a pink dot guy. Go get him. Shh. It's a pink dot guy. Hey, how you doing, man? How much? 1627. Okay. Mikey, is that the pink dot guy? Is he clean? Is he brown? Check in between his toes, Mikey. See if he's clean. Invite him in. See if he wants to stay. Anybody got it?
No, it's not Grease.
No, it's not. It's not Pulp Fiction.
And it's not Pink Panther.
It's not. Nope. All right. And
any other guesses?
And done. No T-shirt tonight. That was a good try, folks. It's called Swingers.
Swingers.
If you have not seen that movie, go watch it. You're money, baby. You don't even know it. You're so money, you don't even know it. Yeah. Y'all grown up. I'm
the asshole.
I'm the asshole. Don't forget to put the pin back. Chi-Chi, the natives are restless.
What did he say? I'd like some eggs in the age of enlightenment.
Oh, yeah. He's like, it says here that I can have breakfast at any time. Yeah. I'll take the eggs in the age of enlightenment, please. And then she's walking by. He's like, God, I'm such a jerk. He's like, why, dude? You're money. You're not a jerk. He's like, I'm a jerk. Like some freaking waitress from Vegas on the night shift is going to understand some French philosophical reference like the age of enlightenment. Damn it. And then she walks by. Ma'am, hold on, Voltaire. What a great movie. Go watch it. Swingers.
Oh, it's one of the first movies you introduced me to after we got together.
Such a great movie. Such a great movie. You're money, baby. You don't even know it. You're so money. Didn't like that movie.
Paul Bettany was not in Swingers.
Paul Bettany was not in Swingers.
No.
Ramon, you have to watch it again. Swingers was a fantastic movie. Go if you ever had your heart broken, you've got to watch that movie. She doesn't deserve you. You have no messages. Okay, thank you.
His party's dead anyway.
She doesn't deserve you. Okay, thanks very much. There's other fish in the sea. Okay, I've got it. Thank you.
It was one of Vince Vaughn's first movies.
Never heard of that before. Swingers, folks. Go watch Swingers. All right, let's finish the rest of this, and then we're popping smoke.
Is that our nominees got to hit the ground running on day one and be able to say to the world, look, American leadership is back. We're not going to have countries and their sovereignties be taken advantage of. We want to actually have global security and global trade and, frankly, global harmony. I remember Hillary Clinton once said in a debate in 2016 that if Donald Trump became president of the United States.
Look at the mannerisms. This guy's just like, screw you. He's looking away. No respect. I mean, it's honestly, it reminds me of the Southern Poverty Law Center type who are just there's different levels of black. And it reminds me of the LGBTQ community, but when it was LGB and the T and the Q, they still challenge that today. A lot of people in the gay and lesbian community do not consider transgenders to be a part of the community. And there is this inner rivalry. It's ridiculous. It's very similar to religion. It's how Catholics and Christians treat each other, or Presbyterians, or Baptists, or Mormons. There's this like segregation inside the community, and this guy is treating Byron like he's an Uncle Tom. And it makes me sick. It makes me horribly sick. It's ridiculous. Watch the rest.
States, we will be on the precipice of World War III. Well, that never happened. As a matter of fact, the world got a lot safer. If anybody's got us on the precipice, it's Joe Biden. So if you ask me a decision between Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, what I'm looking for is somebody who can come in day one and get America back on track. Donald Trump has done it once. He can do it again. And I would ask all Americans, you have President Trump, you have President Biden. They've both done the job. The question is, who did it better?
That's it.
That's a great question.
That's it. He's such a smart guy. And he has a runway that's extremely long. I see him.
I'm David Boreanaz from the Cast SEAL team.
Hey,
My view on the presidential primaries amongst Republicans
easy.
is
We're
that
not
our
done
nominees
yet.
got to
Would
hit
you
the ground running
stop
on
kicking
day
us off the damn? Thank you. So he has a runway that's long. I could see, I don't know about presidential yet, but this guy has the potential for governorship. He has definitely a position on the cabinet. I think he has a ton of potential. I like him. He's smart. He's intelligent. He's very well put together. And I think he represents the Republican Party well. And I think that's the one thing I love that the Republican Party is doing is it's getting rid of the old crusty white people and putting in some salt, some people who know what they're doing. A lot of military, a lot of women. Marjorie Taylor Greene is not my favorite. Not going to lie to you. I don't really like the woman in any way, shape, or form. I think she's just as bad as the ones on the left who are complete shills for their party. I believe you need to challenge your party. You need to break ranks from your party once in a while. You need to do what's right for your constituents. And maybe that isn't along party lines sometimes. And you can hate people who break party lines. That's fine. You call them rhinos, but that's not what we're designed to do. Our government is based upon not party loyalty, but constituent loyalty. And even though it may not seem right for you, Manchin, and though he was a chicken shit and he knew he wasn't going to get what he wanted, and everyone told him you're going to get bamboozled by the Democrats. Well, now he knows. We'll see what he does. But occasionally you have to break ranks. That's why people hate Dan Crenshaw. They're so upset with Dan Crenshaw because he doesn't toe the line always, but the guy still votes 93% with Republicans. You got to respect that. And this whole thing about Eddie Gallagher, I'm really don't know if I'm going to address it or not. People have asked me. This is my number one thing that people have asked me over the last month is to address Eddie Gallagher's accusations against Dan Crenshaw. So instead of me doing that and getting involved, because I believe SEALs, and I have no business telling SEALs what to do. I know a lot of SEALs. I've worked with the teams in an intel capacity. I have a lot of respect for the team guys. So I will never speak for a team guy. I will only speak for my experience. And my experience is that you are a quiet professional first and foremost. And whether you're in intelligence or whether you're in a support staff or whether you're a diver or EOD or Special Forces, Force Recon, MARSOC, whatever brigade, SAS, whatever you do, the quiet professional code, oh, I forgot Delta, is important. And I believe SEALs have done some things that they shouldn't have. I think they've written some books when they shouldn't have. I think they've made movie deals when they shouldn't have. But that's just my opinion. And I know that some of the community believe that and some in the community don't believe that. But I'm not going to tell anyone who to be. But what I will tell you is that I think if there is a conflict between Dan Crenshaw and Eddie Gallagher, it should stay in the teams and it should stay in the brotherhood and it shouldn't be put on the airwaves. And there's a reason why Gallagher is bringing it out now. Now, his trial and everything, I've studied it immensely. I have massive respect for what this man did. I have a different opinion than other people when it comes to his innocence and guilt. I've happened to see the footage after everyone forgot about him, after the trial was over and after Trump went ahead and exonerated him and pardoned him, helped assist him and make sure that he was looked into and then did the pardoning and got involved. I believe, in my opinion, that if people would watch the 2 years after all of that and after the trial and some of the interviews that Eddie did, I think you'll find a very different story and will confirm a lot of the suspicions that you heard of what he was accused of. Once again, Dan Crenshaw has signed red flag laws. He has said some things about Republicans and have been ill-tempered. In short, nobody is perfect. Nobody has walked a mile in either of these men's shoes, and they have a right to have an opinion. They have a right to express it if they want to, and who am I to say different? However, instead of doing a show on this, I simply want to say this. If you want to go ahead and do just a little bit of digging, and it's very easy to do, all you have to do is go to Google and you have to type in Dan Crenshaw supports Eddie Gallagher, and you will see the article where Fox News reports and other station reports that Dan Crenshaw had press conferences and was also pushing forward committee to support Mr. Gallagher. It does not align with his story, and you should look it up and find it yourself. I am not going to get in between two team guys. I'm just going to give you my opinion because I have been asked this at least 100 times to speak on it. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Do your research. Don't take anyone at face value. Don't listen to Dan. Don't listen to Eddie. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody else. Go and do what I always tell you to do and research yourself and find your own answers. Now I got to read some of these comments.
Actually, comment from way earlier. We were talking about abortion, so a long time ago.
Well, hold on. I don't want an abortion question right now. I'm on this.
Okay.
So now a lot of people are disrespecting Dan and Eddie, and I'm just going to put this to bed. So you can read some of these comments. I mean, you have them. People are talking about. Tell me what they're saying.
As far as what we're talking about right now. Yeah. Somebody said wanted to see him locked up, according to him on Facebook video. I don't know who he was talking about.
He's talking about Gallagher.
Yeah.
I just saw Gallagher's story. Ian says Dan Crenshaw didn't support his Navy SEAL brother. The majority of the 97% don't like us. 3% military, not respected anymore. I really like Dan Crenshaw, Cindy Young says. There's two sides to every story. He is a bit questionable, borders on being a rhino. Who? Crenshaw? He voted 93% with Democrats. How's that a rhino? Please describe, what do you mean by rhino? Help me understand, Darlene. Define rhino for me. Republican and name owner, and only, right? Not like the rhino animal because you spelt the animal. Because a rhino to me is a person who runs as a Republican and does not stick to Republican values. But he was in the top 4% of all Republicans in Senate and state legislature to vote with Republicans. So I'm not sure what you mean by rhino.
I think people who are on the way right, if you disagree with anything Republican, then they're a rhino. If
Well, that's what people say.
100%,
Right.
then you're a rhino.
People call me a rhino. And because I take multiple sides in arguments and I try to go ahead and find it together. I've always said Dan Crenshaw is a POS, Dale says. Okay. Never use Google as your search engine. Can you figure out why? Darlene, are you trying to educate me on how to do research? You can use Google to find a Fox News article. You understand that, right? Because you're not going to get a different result from using DuckDuckGo or using any other IP-based or IRC-style chat rooms or search engines. You can use Google to search for Fox News. I'm pretty sure Google has all that information about you anyway. Right, Matt, it just shows how easy it is to spread untruth. Right, because I'm going to show you the article right now. Matt, you are so down to earth. Thank you, Janice. Only if you do something nasty to Matt, lose it. Whoa. Holy shit. What the fuck are we talking about sex toys for? I did quite a bit of research on it today. There's something amiss. Don't forget that there are two sides. I don't believe the crap they're saying about Dan. Still cannot figure out Gallagher. You mean he voted 93% Republican, Matt? You said Democrat. Yes, 90. Excuse me, Rhonda. Thank you. Yes, that would most definitely make him a rhino. 90. I'm a little bit flustered because I don't like people being dishonest, and it frustrates me, especially someone who is very, very important to the freedoms that this country has and has served this country. I don't like it. And I don't like getting in the middle of this shit. And trust me, I've been involved. I was forced into a conversation in regards to Jesse Ventura and Chris Kyle. And I have no dog in that fight at all. We were at a Travis Banyan Foundation golf fundraiser, and the conversation came up at a bar, and I had absolutely no dog in that. I don't know either of them. Never met Chris, and I never met Jesse. I don't fucking know. All I know is that Jesse said that he was slandered against by Chris, and that Chris said he knocked him out, and multiple team guys said Jesse was never knocked out by Chris, and it was a lie. They said Jesse Ventura sued Chris's wife, Tanya Kyle, I believe is her first name, and sued her over something that was written in the book by Chris. And Tanya didn't pay one penny of that. First of all, she's very well off. She does very well with the foundation, and TMF is one of the most respected foundations that I give money to. And her insurance paid for that. And it wasn't even her. It was the publisher's insurance paid for that. It didn't take money out of a former Navy SEAL's wife. And I don't care. It's none of my business. It's fucking, that should stay in the community. That should be between Jesse Ventura and Tanya Kyle, and Chris Kyle. It should not be through everybody's business. Quiet professional, man. It means something. Shut up. Don't write books on shit. Keep secrets. Respect the person to your left and to your right. That's just my opinion. I'm not a SEAL. I don't know. I can't speak on it. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you something right now. I hope everybody's still around. Rudy Kyle McGraw, why you flashing 3-6 symbol?
I don't even know what the 3-6 symbol is.
What are we talking about?
I have no idea.
What's the 3-6 symbol? Oh, is this stupid OK? Fuck you. Just fucking ban him. What an idiot. That OK. Yeah, I'm flashing it. Well, because I do things with my hands and I count my fingers like this because it's called ADHD. And I've had it since I was a boy. So I go ahead and when I talk, I will do my fingers in the same patterns. I also do it clicking my teeth. So I don't know what to tell you. Basically, I'm talking to my white Aryan brotherhood here, and I'm telling them to go ahead and fucking, go get a bucket of chicken and, go get some whiskey, and we're going to go out tonight with a Chevy Nova, and we're going to go cruise and, go dress up in our wizard robes. That's what we're going to do. Jesus. All right, so here is the article. I want to show this. Because, listen, people are concerned, so might as well show you. This... Sorry. This is an article by Greg Norman from Fox News. It's published March 21st, 2019 at 9:12 a.m. Texas, Representative Dan Crenshaw fighting for fellow Navy SEAL being held on war crime charges. A retired Navy SEAL is now leading the charge in Congress for answers regarding the treatment of fellow SEAL who's been locked in a brig for months ahead of the controversial war crimes trial. Texas Representative Dan Crenshaw, who lost sight in his right eye after being hit by an IED explosion in Afghanistan, and 17 other House Republicans have sent a letter to the Secretary of Navy this week urging him to review the pretrial confinement of Eddie. Sorry, guys. The lawmakers are raising concerns that Gallagher, a decorated Navy SEAL, has been receiving limited access to food, medical care, and his legal team. Chief Gallagher is a dedicated warfighter who, like all service members, is entitled to the presumption of innocence while awaiting court-martial, the Republicans wrote in their letter to Richard Spencer. We have received reports that Chief Gallagher's access to counsel and access to food and medical care may have been restricted. They added, as a result, we respectfully request that you review the Navy policies governing pretrial confinement of Chief Gallagher and other service members to ensure compliance with the Uniform Code of Military Justice, the UCMJ. Republicans' messages come as Gallagher was accused of killing an injured ISIS prisoner. I'm not going to repeat the charges. The letter was signed first and foremost by Crenshaw at the top. Thornberry signed it, Jim Jordan, Kelly Armstrong, Jim Banks, Paul Cook, Louis Gomert, Paul Gosar, Judy Heiss, French Hill, Brian Mast, Ralph Norman, Pete Olson, Guy Reschenthaler, Austin Scott, Greg Stube, Van Taylor, and Michael Waltz. There's also a video if you want to see it. That's one of 30 or 40 articles that I found myself by searching Google, of all things, because that's not a very deep search that I need to do because I read the article when it came out. And I remember it explicitly. So you can either use that as a guide stone to dig deeper. Now, in my opinion, this is just my humble opinion, I don't know, it sounds like Chief Gallagher felt that Dan Crenshaw could have done more. Well, based upon Chief Gallagher's interview 2 years after, and if you watch the Netflix series, you'll see that he openly admits. Do you remember this?
I don't remember exactly, no.
Well, he openly admits that he did. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to open myself up for a libel suit because honestly, I don't trust the whole story. I don't trust anybody. I'm going to stop talking. I'm just going to tell you that I believe that there's two sides to every story. I believe that there's political motivation to remove Dan Crenshaw because people say that he is a George Soros plant and New World Order, which there's nothing to show me any of that. They say that he's skull and bones and all this other. Folks, you have got to stop believing everything you read on the internet. I know people who served with Dan. I've met Dan 3 times myself, and I will tell you he has been an honorable person to me and has no idea who I am. I have friends who are dear friends of his who will talk about his character, and I also know people who know Eddie Gallagher and will also say the same thing. There are times where we want to jump to conclusions and get involved in things that we know nothing about. And I would ask that we used facts. And the facts that I have show unfettered support from Dan Crenshaw towards Eddie Gallagher, at least from a public perspective. I have no idea what happened behind the scenes. I know Eddie read some texts and some things and some nuance, and he said, she said, which I don't lend any credo to on Dan or Eddie's side, because that shit is never true. And when you start playing telephone operator, that's ridiculous. That's my opinion. I've answered the question. The only thing I was intending to do was to show you a piece of fact that contradicts what Eddie Gallagher said. And that's the only thing that I can prove, because the rest of it is all hearsay. So there you are. I hope that helps. Anything else? Any other questions?
No.
Okay. So I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you. Olivia, I hope you guys understand 3-6.
Yep, got it.
The 3-6 symbol. That's what Olivia and I. Okay. Is that what the 3-6? You know what? You know what's funny is that you call it 3-6, but where I grew up in Ventura, California, it was actually 2-6, which was the 2-6 Crips, and they did this because of the Playboy Bunny, and they would wear the Playboy Bunny thing, but that was 2-6 Crips. So that you could also see a white boy who can actually do the blood symbol. Yeah, I know. That's talent. I'd be surprised. I'm a white boy, but I grew up in a tough part of California. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. It's been fun tonight. I'm going to go through a couple more comments, and then we're going to call it good. Laugh my ass off was teasing your wife, Sherry. It's okay. I just didn't know what we were talking about. Dan has issues like everyone else. I think he gets paid by super PACs that will change his opinion 6% of the time. Yeah, but listen, the dumbest thing Dan ever talked about was red flag laws, but they're surprisingly, Dan has some opinions on mass shootings and happens to believe what a lot of people believe is that people who are clinically insane or criminally insane, they're already reported, but clinically insane or have psychological issues or on psychotropic drugs shouldn't have possession of firearms. And I can't say I don't disagree. Red flag laws maybe aren't the answer, but we need to create something, and we've got to solve the problem, because the one thing that all mass shooters have in common is they're fucking crazy. I think we can all agree with that. So how do you disagree with the only thing that's open is red flag? I don't agree with red flag laws. I don't want that type of shit. I don't believe in no fly list. I don't believe in any of that stuff, but we've got to do something. And Dan has said some things that are stupid, and I'm not going to defend him, but there's never a politician I've ever met that I agree with everything they say. I don't agree with everything Donald Trump says. I hardly agree with anything Biden says. There's things about Ronald Reagan I didn't like. Ronald Reagan was one of the most tax and spend presidents we've ever had in office. I mean, that guy was horrible. He's in the top 3 of the highest deficit spending presidents we've ever had. He also said that AIDS was a disease for gays and lesbians only, which is pretty stupid. It got a lot of people killed. We also know what Dr. Fauci did. We don't have to go into that, but I don't agree with every politician. Brandon Michon is a very, very good friend of mine. I adore him, and I would go to the mat for him. But I promise you, working on a long enough timeline with him, if that wound up being something that I would ever have done, which would have been an honor, we would have disagreed on things. And that is my job. He sat inside my living room, and we've had conversations that we don't necessarily agree on things. And that's okay. When Eli Crane and I did our interview, we didn't agree on everything, and that's okay. It's all right to say, I respect most of the things that this person does as a politician, And with Dan Crenshaw, I can say 93% of the time I agree with what he says. The 7%, whether I agree or disagree, I have to take the good with the bad. I don't necessarily get to be as myopic and say that I have to agree with everything my politician, because they're not my leaders. They're not my friends. Do they align with the values that I need them to? And if they do, then they get a thumbs up. If they don't, then they get a thumbs down.
It'd be a very boring world if everyone agreed on everything.
Or they get a 3-6 up or a 3-6 down. What's up, man? He turned his back on a Navy SEAL. Well, Jody, I just proved to you that he didn't. Now what? Now, Jody, if I've changed your mind even a modicum, a slip. See, I'm doing the okay symbol again. Here I am. He's right. I do this. I do this to make a point, right? It's like
how Bill Clinton used to talk with his hands.
Yeah, but I mean, fuck, dude. Yeah, I'm a bigot. If this means I'm a bigot, I'm a fucking bigot. Sorry.
I don't even know what the 3-6 symbol is.
It's supposed to be okay. It's like a white. I don't even know, white nation, Aryan nation bullshit. It was on. I don't even know what it means. I just know that's the symbol. Supposedly the okay symbol is some stupid sign. I thought it was you put it on your knee and you got people to look. And you're like, here you go, look at that. All right. So Jody says he turned his back on on a Navy SEAL that was facing murder charges while a Navy SEAL. Instead of backing this man, he totally went behind his back and tried to keep him in jail until trial. And then he lied about the whole situation. Guy has all the receipts. I got the receipts. I just showed them to you. Now what? Jody, if I can create a modicum of doubt in your mind, will you promise to go and research now and see if you can change your mind even further? Or you've already decided on Dan Crenshaw because you only got one side of the story? I just showed you something that was printed in the media. I can look up the bill. This was proposed legislation. This was to move forward. This was actually in writing. There are several other articles on Dan's support for Eddie. I'm not sure what Eddie's talking about. All I know is that creates a modicum of doubt. And if it does, I would challenge you to look further. What do you think now? Taya, it's Taya Kyle, right? Did I say Tanya? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't remember her name.
Yeah, and I'm tired. I'm just tired. I've actually met the lady one time, and I should know better. I mean, I write a check to her foundation. I feel like an idiot. I'm sorry. Yes, do your research about charities and organizations y'all donate to. A lot of the big name ones are really shady. Yeah, Travis Manion Foundation's fantastic. He was ultimately discharged from the Navy. He went to trial and was found guilty on one of the 7 charges. Well, then he also admitted to something at the end, which I'm not going to repeat. Go watch it. You have 3 names. What do you know? That's funny. You guys are such a great family. Love all the values you have, and you are spot on about what you talk about. 86 symbols. Do you know what he was charged with? The horrible thing he bragged about doing, horrible, unspeakable things. Yeah. Listen, there was I can't, I'm not going into this. I refuse. I can't. You have to respect that. I only commented on the facts and what I found because people asked me. I am not going to go into stories. I'm not going to go into things I've heard. I'm not going to, when I'm drinking a whiskey with somebody, no, I can't. And I won't break that trust. So I don't have a lot of information on either. You just hear scuttlebutt. Navy talks to Navy. People talk and you listen. And just like you all heard something and you heard something from Eddie and immediately you think Dan's a bad guy because you were looking to find things bad about Dan. And Dan's going to have a fight on his hands. There's a very large propaganda machine who's trying to take him down. And this is politics. And Dan he's defended Democrats. He went on SNL and he made the peace with the enemy, so to speak. He's not liked by people, but honestly, I think that is awesome. I think it takes moxie not to ride the party line at all times. There's no problem with me about that. And if he takes money, if you think that's truly what he does, I'm pretty sure Eli would call him out. I don't know if you've noticed Eli Crane, but he doesn't fuck around. And Eli has not spoken ill of Dan at all. So even when Dan said that shit, Eli kept his peace. He's a quiet professional. He didn't go after Dan when he was talking about, Trump supporters and, doing stupid things and the gang of 18 or whatever it was who were fighting Kevin McCarthy. Dan said some stupid shit. Eli didn't come out and attack. He didn't come out and lambast Dan Crenshaw because Dan Crenshaw has a right to his opinion. I'm not here to toe the line for Dan Crenshaw. Okay. I'm just not going to let a Navy SEAL who served his country honorably, who is a disabled veteran, who lost his eye for this country, who did things that you can't even fucking imagine, is to garner him a little bit more respect and give him the benefit of the doubt. Give them both the benefit. Give Eddie the benefit of the doubt and Dan. They both have earned it. And these are SEALs. And until you've seen what these guys do, until you've had brothers do what they do, until you've seen them come home in a draped coffin, you just don't understand what type of human being it takes to go through what they go through. And they have earned my devotion and respect. I would ask you to do the same. And until you know the whole story, don't make judgment. That's all I would say. I heard that guy got acquitted of all charges. I watched the video of the guy calling out Dan. Yep, so did I. I heard that guy got acquitted. Okay, same thing. Thank you, Matt, for your facts. No problem, Sandra. Rudy is so Gen Z. When he voted for the red flag law, he shit in my cornflakes. He shit in everybody's cornflakes when he did that. You know, a lot of people love Judge Janine. I've got her endorsement, and she believes in red flag laws. Red flag laws. Sorry, folks. That was kind of like what you said. He was charged with 7 crimes, but got found guilty of 1. Yeah, and then somebody changed their story in the middle of it and said that he actually did it, which was the medic. You guys go watch it on Netflix. The whole trial is there. It's laid out for you. You can hear all the testimony, and it's a fascinating story, and you'll find yourself doing what I did and having empathy for Eddie Gallagher. He is a war fighter. This man is a break glass in case of emergency. He was deployed so many times. He saw more conflict than just about any other SEAL in existence. This guy saw the shit. And if he flipped the switch and he wasn't able to hold back and he killed an ISIS underage person, well, so fucking be it. It's war. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have any empathy for anybody in ISIS. Fuck them. Fuck every one of them. Anyone who helps them and supports them. So I don't care about that. What I care about is there's a code of conduct in the military and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And when a prisoner surrenders, they are a prisoner, most assuredly. But I'm not. This isn't tiddlywinks, okay? This is war, and crazy shit happens. This is not about that. This is about Dan. This isn't about Eddie Gallagher's service or his guilt or innocence. And I have no fucking say on any of that because I wasn't there and I didn't see what the man went through. And as far as I'm concerned, he is a squared away mofo and I support him. The charges, I'm not asking about that. What I'm talking about is Dan Crenshaw's support. That's the only thing I'm addressing because that's the only thing that people asked me. Nobody asked me my opinion on those two guys. I'm simply telling you that I have multiple sources that say that Dan Crenshaw did support through legislation, through letters, and through efforts on his pulpit as a legislator to support Dan Gallagher. That is what we're talking about. We're not talking about the guilt and innocence of Gallagher. We're not talking about Dan Crenshaw, if he's a good guy or a bad guy. I'm just giving you the facts that video says something different than the receipts and the account of record. Is that fair? Are we good? Are we set? Can we fucking get off this topic? Great. Pop and smoke. Charlie Mike, finish in the rest of your questions. Thank you, Matt. Love you, dummies. Love you too. Keep all the sharp objects locked up. Scissors too, Cindy says. Isn't Cindy the one that keeps going on about this and says that she doesn't like Crenshaw?
Not sure.
Hold on. I don't know if it was. I'm interested to find out. Hold on, Cindy. I'm going to do a search and make sure. Okay. Matt is a real American. Gotta love him. Thank you. Appreciate it. Holy crap, Cindy. You're all over the place. I love it. You said it in a nutshell. I really like Dan Crenshaw. Okay. Then Jody says, Cindy, I just saw a terrible video about him. Yep. We read that. Okay. Anyway. All right. So now that we've talked about that, we're done. Olivia, last final point. You get it. What do you want to say? Say goodbye to everybody.
Good night, y'all. I don't have a point right now.
Olivia's tired. It's a long show. We had a lot to do. We will be back tomorrow night. Leroy and Amy. If Leroy's feeling up to it, he's under the weather. He's not feeling good. He's had real bad. What did he got? Sand in his vagina or something?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Not sure.
Amy's got some killer allergies. Either way, they should be here tomorrow. If not, they're not, but we will be. I will have a recorded show in the morning. I've got a job interview in the afternoon, but I should have something in the evening. Everyone have a wonderful, wonderful night. Please do me a favor. Stop by the Don't Unfriend Me show at thedumbshow.com. Pick yourself up a hat, a shirt, a mug, or whatever, and we will see you tomorrow. God bless, and thanks for making it a great show, everybody. I had a lot of fun tonight. Olivia,
Night,
you're
y'all.
awesome as always. Good night. See you tomorrow.
I'm David Boreanaz with the Cast of SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important. You are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call